Dave Kleiman. Dave Kleiman, of all people, coming in to the movie. It's been announced. This is going to be the Killing Satoshi space coming right at you. My name is Gavin Mehl. I'm coming out of a big meeting there in Silicon Valley with a freaking insider that just gave me all the freaking juice on this whole thing. And if I wasn't under some sort of a contract on some of the stuff, I would just be like, here's everything I know, but I can't. But I will share what I do know, that it's going to be big. Dave Kleiman, Craig's right-hand man, has been announced. It's going down. So let's go ahead and get into the film and see you at the top. I'll see you on the inside. All right, everybody. It's a great day. Yeah, coming at you guys. What's going on? It's a great day. We got the Killing Satoshi. Hollywood just cast Dave Kleiman in Killing Satoshi. You know, it's finally breaking down right now. It's happening. This is the is the truth actually going to get told on the whole Bitcoin origin story? Is it going to go down like we all know it is, or is it actually going to be or is it just going to be another nothing burger? Well, I'll tell you, it's now come out. It's official that Daniel Street. I saw it from Truth, and according also to IMDb, that the freaking the actual IMDb is now cast Dave Kleiman. So now it's not, it's just Calvin and it's fake. It's this. No, dude, this is Dave Kleiman has no relationship to any crypto stuff. He's not a crypto guy. He's just an IT guy with Craig, and he helped write the white paper according to the Bitcoin trial, the big Kleiman trial. And then he was a military guy. He's not a really exciting person. There's no reason to have him in some movie other than Kleiman versus Wright, the court case, the backstory, the 2011, the tulip era of trust coins. So I want to kind of open up and paint the picture about the Kleiman stuff, because this is another really badass angle. Because I invited Robin. I mean, she's a Miami person, and so I don't think she's going to be here, but I tried to get her on because I know that she was at the trial with Kleiman and Wright, and at that trial, she went and did a lot of research on Kleiman. And if you guys remember way back in the day, the very first, one of the earliest videos. Well, I think before the Bitcoin Doco video that Craig had done, he did a video, and it's somewhere lost on the archive somewhere. I'm sure Truth probably has it, but where he did a show, and he was in tears, very emotional about Kleiman dying. So this had to have been 2011, and Kleiman had died, and Craig made a video about it, and he was really upset. And I remember seeing that video at really early days, and how he was his best friend. They'd met only 2 or 3 times in person, according to the trial, but online friends are really close friends with those types of guys. So he just was really loyal to Craig. He was extremely trustworthy to Craig, and he had Craig's back at his best interest, and he helped him write that white paper. I think what it was is he actually did drafting. So when he was writing the Satoshi white paper, he basically would send it to Kleiman. This is according to the email testimony in the Kleiman case. He would send it back and forth to Dave for review, and then Dave would go back and forth and say, yes, it looks good. Here's my changes, and he would update, kind of like a proofwriter of the paper, and they would go back and forth over and over again on it. And that basically, according to the Kleiman trial, that was Kleiman versus Wright. That actually Craig won. And I think there's a lot of confusion on the Kleiman case about what happened. Remember, Craig won the case, meaning that he had all the right to the Satoshi fortune, the Bitcoin origin fortune, the 1.1 million coins. That was all his. He got the rights to that. He was under the very outset of the case. There was a stipulation between the parties. You got Kleiman, Ira Kleiman, the estate of Dave Kleiman, and Craig were agreed to have created Bitcoin together. That was the stipulation. Craig said, no, he didn't actually create it with me, but yeah, we worked together. He wrote the white paper. So he said, no, he doesn't get 50%. No, that's not how it worked, And so the court found, yeah, you're right. He doesn't get 50% at all. This all goes to you, Craig. The award was that Kleiman doesn't get 50%. Okay. And so Craig had control of the entire estate, the 1.1 million tulip trust coins that was inside that famous tulip trust with all the shards. And then the fee was, I think it was like, there was a fee, a sanctions fee that had to be paid after that, which was a small amount compared to the scope of the trial, of a $66 billion trial, that was going down. And there was like a $50 million or $100 million sanctions that had to be paid at the end of it. So But so Dave Kleiman's going to be in it. This is massive. Why don't we open up, man, and see what's up? Oh, Casey, I added you up. I thought maybe I didn't. Let me add you up. Hold on. Okay. Daniel Street, Rodolfo, Casey Nicole, Daniel Street. What's up, buddy?
How you going?
Man, I'm kicking ass. We just walked out of a meeting right now before this. So thank you, Daniel. And why don't you fill us in, man, what's going on? I mean, you're the one that broke this thing on Kleiman on X. So why don't you tell us what you know?
Yeah, well, it was announced over the last 24 hours, a few additional cast members.
Hold on,
And
Dolpho,
then
can you mute for a
Kleiman,
second, buddy? Come right back. Go ahead, Daniel. Sorry.
yeah, so Dave Kleiman being one of the main cast members that's just been announced, which is huge, right? Because everyone's been speculating over the past 8 months what this film's going to be about. The original articles that came out on Binance and throughout the cryptocurrency space, spoke about it being a film about the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto. But then obviously within the BSV space, we had a few leaks in terms of, that it was going to be about Craig and Calvin. But that last 24 hours, that update that Kleiman was going to be in the film essentially just showcases that it's going to be about Craig. It's Craig's story. Because the only way Dave Kleiman is connected within the entire cryptocurrency space is through Craig, because he's Craig's business partner. So yeah, exciting times ahead. I think what they do as well with these cast leaks, they start to announce the cast just prior to them releasing trailers. So I think the fact that there's 8 cast members now that have been released, I think there's going to be a few more over the coming weeks. So I think it's just key to just keep an eye on IMDb to see who else is announced. What I do find interesting as well is Gal Gadot. That's the Wonder Woman girl. She was in the photo that Doug Lehman posted when he announced that they started filming. But her role has still been kept under wraps. So that may come out as well over the next few weeks in terms of which character she'll play.
Yeah. So Gary Badal, John, Jon. Do we know how John Matonis spells his name? Is it Jon or John?
It's Jon. Yep, I looked it up. Jon.
Oh, man. Wow. John. That's such a big one right there. If that is Matonis, then we know what's going on.
And as well, there's a character called Mike, which could be Mike Hearn.
Oh.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah, that could be Mike Hearn. Mike Hearn would make sense because he jumped out of the project. Well, when he was exiled from the project at some point, right? What was it, like
2016?
Yeah.
2016, he had his keys revoked.
Locked out. Yeah. Now, I wonder where Gavin Andresen is, if one of these guys are going to play Gavin Andresen.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was thinking about Gavin Andresen. Yeah.
Pete Davidson. Well, okay, so has it officially been announced about Pete as Calvin? I don't see him on there yet. It hasn't.
No, but just those leaks through the Puck article.
Yeah.
And then obviously Edgar Hansen's leaked it as well from December.
Yeah. Yeah. So we saw that. But I mean, this whole thing about Kleiman, so this IMDb, this is pretty official. I'm pretty sure that IMDb is the official thing, right? Like that's
it's the number one. Essentially,
it's hard
the
to
number
fake.
one spot
It's hard to fake that. That's pretty legit at that point. Once it goes on IMDb.com, I think that's
So the agents of the actors and the actresses, they post they submit their clients to the cast members. So Dave Kleiman, so Alan Mahidara, his agent would have then uploaded this information to IMDb that he was playing the role of Dave Kleiman. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So his agent put that in there. He's playing Dave Kleiman. So the actor's agent puts in who they're playing, and Alan. So he's in. I see your picture of him. I'm not familiar with him, but he's in another movie called Focus, and looks like Alan.
Yeah, yeah.
He's the one playing Kleiman. Kind of
They've
looks
cast
like
him pretty
Kleiman.
well. He looks like Kleiman as well.
Yeah, he
look
does.
Look at that old photo of Dave.
Yeah, he does. If you look at the photo of Dave on the next one, which is Dave 2011. I mean, there's some really like I really am interested to hear like what the story is with Dave, because I mean, you figure, what do we know about this guy, Dave Kleiman?
We know that he was Craig's best mate, and that he helped. Was it Wright? He helped edit the Bitcoin white paper with Craig.
Yeah.
And then maybe he helped with some of the coding as well, because he wrote that book. Was it the C++ book with Craig? But how I envision the film to be, I think it'll be one of those things where things flash back to the past. So I think the main film will focus around the Kleiman v. Wright case. But within that case, there was all the past mentions of the signings and Dave Kleiman. I think it will jump back and forth between the court case and then the historic evidence that Craig provided. That's my inkling.
And what's your inkling on this Killing Satoshi, angle? How is that portrayed? How is that? Is it?
Well, that came up in the court case as well, right?
Well, not necessarily.
Because that was just after, it was either just before or just after one of the signings in 2015 when he tried to take his life, or 2014 or 2015 when he tried to take his life. I think it was.
Wasn't that right after the BBC that he did that?
I think so. Either the BBC or around the time of the Gavin.
That's the same time as the BBC, because he did the Gavin Andreessen signing. That's according to the Andrew O'Hagan article piece, that would have been 2016. Because 2015 they went down to Sydney, Australia, and that was Matthews, Craig Wright, and then also McGregor was around at that time. The end of 2015, they went down there and they had the meeting, and then McGregor, I believe, grabbed the original, I don't know if it was a Bitcoin white paper original or some piece of evidence that was missing, that went missing, that Matthews talked about. And he said that was the smoking gun that went missing, and nobody knows where it went. But who was there? McGregor. He was there at the time, and so we think McGregor probably grabbed that, and he's going to auction that off one day, maybe when the time's right. So whatever that was, So, but yeah, so it would have been 2016, because 2016 he does the signing with Gavin Andreessen, flies him out there. Gavin Andreessen confirms, and Gavin Andreessen never retracted that statement. If you look at the testimony, it was in the testimony. It says, well. And the opposing counsel is cross-examining him, and he's saying, so I saw that you were saying that you felt like you were duped by Craig. And he's like, well, I wasn't duped by Craig at the signing. I believe he signed the original block at the thing. He's like, I was duped. I felt like I was duped because he was supposed to write a blog and publish more information, and he didn't do that. He didn't do that. And so, or the blog he posted was what Gavin said was it was not what he expected on the blog. But he's like, that doesn't change what happened at the meeting when I met him in person in London at all. Not at all.
They put words in his mouth. Yeah.
That's on the transcript. It's on the testimony in the transcript. It's right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best part about Kleiman. You got all that testimony. I mean, the Gavin Andreessen testimony is really strong. Plus the Matonis, of course, and so it'll be. This is all big. I mean, I don't think people understand the magnitude of this, about this movie. I mean, with the director, this is the guy from, what did you say? What was the movie? Not Day After Tomorrow, but the Tom Cruise?
Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Emily Blunt.
Edge of Tomorrow, Emily Blunt, Tom Cruise. And Bourne Identity, Bourne Ultimatum, all the Bourne Identity series movies. Huge.
And then the writer of The Social Network.
Was that the writer or the producer? Who's the one that did that? Social Network. That was the writer?
It might have been the producer.
I think the producer, Kavanaugh, did The Social Network along with a bunch of others. And then the writer was the guy who worked at Bodog Fights at some point, in the past. So
yeah, so the writer Nick Schenk, he wrote Gran Torino, The Mule,
that's right.
Narcos, great films with Clint Eastwood. Yeah, you got some of the largest names in Hollywood, and you can also see. So when you go to IMDb, and you click all cast and crew, so it shows the main cast. So there's 8 cast members, but it also shows all the producers, the cinematographer, the costume designer, a whole bunch of other people. I think there's like 40 in total. And if you look at the cinematographer, who's Henry Graham, his name is, he was also the cinematographer for the most recent Superman film, so Superman 2025, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Instigators 2024. Yeah, so huge names. So even the cinematographer is very well known as well.
Yeah, Doug Lehman, Nick Schenk, Casey Affleck, Pete Davidson, Gary Beadle. Oh, Gary Beadle, John, he's a black guy. That's an interesting pick. Finley Robertson, Balthazar. Any idea who that is? Balthazar?
Yeah, so I searched that on ChatGPT, and they said that Balthazar Harrington 3 was an alias that came up in the Kleiman v. Wright case. Because obviously Craig had multiple aliases, and apparently that was one of the aliases in an email that came up. But I cross-referenced court listener with the with that search term, but couldn't find anything in the Kleiman v. Wright case.
Ainsley.
I didn't search for Ainsley in the Kleiman v. Wright court listener.
All right, that'd be another one. Then you got, okay, Lawrence Gray, producer, Kavanaugh. Wait a second. Matthew Kavanaugh, Ryan Kavanaugh. They must be brothers, I presume. I'm not sure. Both of those guys. So, Ryan Sales. So, yeah, this is, I don't know. I mean, dude, I love the marketing and the hype on this. It's freaking amazing, dude. It's just so exciting to get the story out there. So, dude, yeah. So what's up, Casey and Dolfo? I see you guys up on stage. Did you want to say hi? What's going on? Casey, Nicole, welcome.
Hello, happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday. You.
Just listening and very excited. Do we have any idea when this is coming out yet?
Daniel?
I've read reports mid-2026, but then I also think it could be a little later. So typically some of these films come released at the, what are they? The like the Venice Film Festival. There's a number of film festivals in September, October.
Okay.
This year, and I think it may be released at some of those, which is September, October. But then I've also read reports it'll be released mid-2026, which is July, August.
How big is this?
So I think we're expecting.
I mean, is this a
soon.
small time? One of those movies that's one of those. What do they call it? Like independent film festivals with a kind of a smaller style. What are your thoughts? Like, how is the production going to be on this?
It'll be huge. Like it's a. Well, I think they spent, was it 90 million or 110 million on the film, which is like a large Hollywood blockbuster film. It's not like a small independent film. Like if we look up, I wonder how much they spent on Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow budget. But yeah, I think that it will be submitted to a number of these film festivals where, huge Hollywood films are submitted and let me just see. Edge of Tomorrow was a $178 million film, and that was massive blockbuster film. And this is 90 to 100 mil. So it's going to be huge. It'll be one of the biggest films of the year.
Wow. I'm just thinking it's good. I hope it's going to be in it. Yeah, I'm excited. Dolfo, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man.
What's up? Mic check. Can you hear me?
Mic check. 1, 2. We can hear you, buddy. Good to see you. How you doing?
Copy. Doing well. I'm here for the Great Bitcoin Flippening. Excited about this film. I think it's going to be a catalyst for the flippening. Can't wait.
That's exactly it, dude. It is the catalyst for the flippening. I mean, I'm trying to get as many people aware as possible because, I mean, you know, I was just talking to Daniel about this before this call. We were talking. I was like, look, you know, the best marketing angle of all time is flipping BTC. I'm sorry, it just is. It's just the reality. I mean, build good tools, have a great system, have a great Bitcoin BSV, have all the best stuff going on. What happens in the end? It flips. That's just the result, like it or love it. That's the way it works because it's an economic system. The miners end up chasing the profit and they end up switching channels. Right. You know, we don't have control over that. It's a miner system. They will eventually choose the most profitable. And there won't be any way to stop it because it's a matter of just like, oh, if there's just enough attention on it, and it's so small. You figure, was it 200-300 million? It's so tiny compared to, you know, Michael Saylor. I mean, it's nothing compared to what they're doing over there. It's just, it definitely is. I think a huge catalyst.
I think it's also an opportunity for Craig to make his move. You know, if he's going to offload a lot of Bitcoin or something, it's the perfect cover when this film comes out for him to do that.
Seems like he's got immunity since he's not Satoshi, according to that judge. So, you know, he sure is in kind of a good legal position at that point.
Yeah. I guess just in the court of public opinion as well, you know?
Yeah, the court of public opinion, exactly. But, you know, he's legally, he's immune.
That's great cover.
Casey, you're trying to unmute. Go ahead.
Are we doing a watch party somewhere?
Hell yeah, we're going to do that. Oh,
we should totally have a live
we need to go to the actual. Well, it won't just be a watch party. It will be what happens with a film like this is you got all the cast and all the stars. Everybody gets together and it'll be in Hollywood somewhere. You know, that's how. Yeah, I mean, I guess an online thing with that at the same time. But when it launches, I'm going for sure. Everybody should go. As many people as we go because they'll have that launch in Hollywood. You know, when it comes out. So we just don't know when, but yeah, for sure, we got to. Who else do we? Daniel, over to you. I know you said you have another meeting, so go ahead and take us back and anything else you wanted to share about what you know.
What else? I think so typically when a film launches, there's two trailers that come out. There's the teaser trailer. And then there's the main trailer. And the teaser trailer typically comes out, say, 6 months prior to the film being launched. And then the main trailer comes out maybe 2 or 3 months prior. So if we're due for a release, nearing the end of the year or August, September, like I think a teaser trailer is going to drop this month. Like I can't see it not. And everything seems to be aligning as well with Chronicle. Now, I find interesting, so the Chronicle update, right, that comes out 7th of April. There was a video from July 2024 on YouTube of Connor talking about the Chronicle upgrade. And Connor was pretty much explaining the Chronicle upgrade and the fact that it was going to be launched at the end of the year, which was the end of 2024. Now, for whatever reason, maybe it's delayed or maybe it was purposely pushed to now April of this year. So maybe Chronicle was, almost ready to go, ready to be launched, but then they chose to move it further to April of this year. So I think there seems to be something going on, particularly with all these updates with IMDb. Something seems to be aligning with April of this year.
I remember that they were going to release Chronicle earlier. I remember that. You're right.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be released end of 2024.
Oh.
So they've almost pushed it a year and a half. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Heck yeah. Nice. Okay, over Pygus? Is it?
Hey.
Yeah. Forgive me. How do I say that word?
That's Pages.
Pages.
So I've renamed the app. I was on a couple of days ago.
Oh yeah, buddy. Good to see you again. Thanks for coming back on.
How are you doing?
Doing good.
Oh, that's all right. How are you doing? Oh, nice one.
Talk to me.
Yeah, cool. No, I was just like listening to Daniel Street then. Yeah, it does feel like, I think the word's like synchronicity, which I've been having loads of in the last few years. And I don't know if you guys have as well, but it's all these big events. Like we're obviously in part of like quite a big movement. Us lot, it's quite a unique situation we're all in. It's weird that there's like a 48-hour thing Trump's given around this date. The Chronicle's coming out on the 7th. I've just released my app, by the way. It's like payapp.com. It's like, Daniel, you'll like it. It's like microtransactions, but for every type of content. That's live now. Yeah, it's just all aligning. I don't know if it's for you guys as well. But yeah, it just feels like it's about to ping as well. If you look at coinspot.com.au, it's going exponential.
How do we find your app? I'm not aware of the website.
So it's just gone live. PAIY app.com, pay app. And it basically, you can pay by the second for any type of content. So it can be a video, it can be, you can upload a video of yourself, or it can be an MP3. And you basically make these things called pages. And then you have there's other features on there as well. There's like Vibe, which you can go into this like virtual space. I'm hoping it to be like some sort of VR space where you can vibe with people. You can share your pages.
One more time on the website again.
PAIY app.com. So you go on that, and then I listened to you, Gavin. I wrote a built-in wallet into it. So you create a wallet, you get 12 words. You just got to remember those 12 words. You can send money there, but you just got to keep those 12 words secret. Nothing touches the server. So I've made sure that nothing. Oh, am I still online?
No, we hear you. Wow. So I see it launched PAIY app.
Yeah.
And you got BSV, app. Bitcoin, and BTC. And Bitcoin Cash.
Well, they're still awaiting they're awaiting activation, but they don't know if they will be. But everything you can do on BSV, right?
Yeah.
So you create your login, and then there's another thing called forums, which you can go into forums and basically share these pages. And it's basically a shop within the site. There's no app downloads. I'm done with app downloads. Why do we have to go through Google and what's the other one? Apple. I don't want to download an app. I want it on. You could do a web. It's called a progressive web app. So PWA.
You don't need a web. You don't need to download an app.
Screen. Yeah. Notifications come through to your PWA on your desktop. Boom. That's an app. And it's straight to the website, logged in. You get all the notifications through. You can even do, Gavin, if you want to do a live stream, you can have thousands of people watching you. Each individual person opens a direct channel with you, payment-wise, and they pay you individually. Even if they listen to you for a second, they just pay for a second listen to you. So you could have thousands of people with you listening to you, all paying you individually.
Well, we're going to need that with this movie coming out, dude. It's going to be required because it's going to be too much traffic. We're going to need that, so this is a great idea. I love it. Hold that thought. I'm really excited to hear more, but hold off for a second. Let me just ping to J Paps. He's got his hand up. Okay, I'm not cutting you off. I just want to kind of keep the
sure. No worries.
J Paps, over to you, buddy. What's going on?
Not bad. Yeah, the flippening is real, Gavin. I feel it. It's coming, and
I feel it in my bones.
You know that call we had the other day. Yeah. I completely understand the position of from Babbage and all of these guys. The thing is, I think they were more focused into bringing in developers and whatnot. Look, developers are nice, but most people aren't going to be developers, right? Most people are going to be users.
Right.
So, I mean, how many developers are you going to get out of like 10,000 people? You're going to get 2 or 3, I think at the very highest. This movie is going to definitely bring in users.
Yeah.
Which is and when the users start using, there won't be any issues. Yep. This is what's going to really take us to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
and the developers are obviously the plumbing. That's like some of the most important thing of the whole thing. But the mainstream are not developers, and so we have to appeal to the mainstream.
right, and wait until even if I don't know how much is going to be revealed in the teaser trailer, but if so much as if Craig Wright's name comes out in the teaser trailer as being one of the people involved in the movie, I think that the flippening is going to like really pick up steam.
You could pretty much, I would say if I was a gambling person at that point, it would be a smart time to get to front run that, because then everybody's going to say, oh, what's Craig Wright involved in? And there's some other guys on YouTube, they've talked about this before, and they're like, yeah, Craig Wright's a really well-known guy. And from a crypto angle, and they say, if he gets in the news, if he gets popular, watch out, watch out.
Oh yeah. Look, I've been through, I guess, somewhat similar thing there. Back before the interest in precious metals and silver and gold was like pretty much non-existent. I backed up the truck. Simple as that. Same way I did with BSV. You back up the truck when no one's looking.
Yeah.
You're better off being 6 years too early than 1 day late.
Especially with this, it moves too fast. You can't.
Oh yeah.
It's you can't get it when it's moving. You can't even get it. That's the problem.
Well, the thing is, most people don't even understand the scope of how big the world is in terms of population, and when you have a large percentage of the population all trying to get this one thing, I mean, it's not like it's going to be BTC, because BTC is already at a certain price, and a lot of people, they know that even if they buy it, at this point, what are you going to make if you buy BTC? What are you looking for? If you get a 1x, man, 2x, you're doing amazing.
Oh,
really amazing. And for BTC to double, man, we saw what had to happen, how much tether printing, how much non-stop promotion on Super Bowl ads. I mean, it was everywhere, and that's what got all the people in.
Michael Saylor saying, buy his bags, buy my bags every day. What's his name?
Yeah.
What's that guy? He goes down to El Salvador, Max Kaiser. He puts on an orange hat. He goes to them. And he says, buy BTC, everybody. It's going to keep going up. I mean, risky.
I'll say this to all the people that are listening right now. Go have a look at that clip of Michael Saylor when Scottie Pippen was sitting down next to him on one of these like fireside chats. And Scottie Pippen said that he met Satoshi Nakamoto. If you have a look at Michael Saylor's face, how quickly he turned around and gave Pippen the stare of death. That was
like, you better
incredible.
Not tell the truth right now, he's saying. Right?
Oh, well, at that point, I guarantee you all he was thinking was, does this guy know Craig Wright? Period.
Yeah.
Because listen, you know how it goes. We're all Satoshi except for Craig Wright.
Anybody but Craig.
Yeah, the main, as far as the mainstream media goes, I could be Satoshi. Me, as ridiculous as that sounds. But that's more plausible than Craig Wright. The guy with thousands of patents, doctorates, all kinds of degrees. Yeah, but I'm more likely than him,
Sir Toshi had a show yesterday, and he talked about how they're doing the fake movie they're putting out called sort of Finding Satoshi, and they're going to do. Last time it was remember the Kleiman trial? Oh no, it was the Cobra trial was going on, and they did another movie about finding Satoshi, something similar. I remember they made that guy Peter Todd. They wanted to make him as the guy, and he was just a little kid. At the time of the white paper, he was playing with dolls and toys, and there's even photos of him at that time, and he has like a stuffed animal that he's playing with.
he still plays with dolls.
And then now they want to pick somebody else, and Sir Toshi was thinking it was going to be Hal Finney. He'd be the perfect fall guy for their movie. They could put it on him, because he's a RIP. Right?
Whoever they pick, like for this Killing Satoshi movie, all of the other documentaries and movies, people are not that stupid. I mean, they're going to do some digging, And they're going to understand that, like, for example, Peter Todd. It could not be Peter Todd. Peter Todd was 14 or 15 years old.
Yeah.
It just cannot be Peter Todd, no matter what. They're gonna look into Craig Wright, and they're gonna say, "Hang on a second. He has how many degrees? He's he's basically in university his entire life. He has schooled all. He was the one that schooled Nick Szabo in 2014 or 2015 that Bitcoin was Turing complete. I mean, if you have eyes to see,
the supercomputer,
you're going to see it.
The supercomputer as well was proven.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the supercomputer? Somebody called him and said, "That's not possible. He doesn't have that." And he made that at that speech, and it came out later that he actually did have that supercomputer. Remember that?
This is just a massive psyop, because if you have any kind of discernment for facts, it's so obvious who it is. Gavin, I don't consider myself to be an ultra smart person. If I could figure it out, pretty much everybody could figure it out.
Right.
And the people that can't figure it out are financially incentivized not to.
Right. Now here's the thing, is that a lot of the people in the space, I want to try to talk to them, they do not want me talking about Craig. They want to get rid of him, even to this day, and I think it's just the opposite. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know. What do you think? Why do a lot of people not want him involved? They don't want, what is your thinking?
Well, they don't want you to talk about Craig. Look, I don't think there's that many people that are actually against BSV. It's just that the people that are against BSV have very powerful voices.
Yeah.
Because most people, Gavin, they don't care. They just don't care. They don't care if it's Craig or if it's not Craig. They'll actually find it fascinating if Satoshi's true identity is revealed. So they don't have anything for or against Craig Wright. It's as simple as that. And if they find out that, oh, it is this guy, and what he says BTC is not Bitcoin, and he's actually developing the real Bitcoin, and it works as per the white paper, and there is no waiting 40 to 60 minutes between buying a coffee and waiting for the block confirmations and the 75 cent to $1 in fees if no one else is using the network, because then it goes higher, right? If you actually start using it and it just works.
And then for the normie, it's the opportunity too, because the flipping. Just for the regular normie, he just wants to get rich. He's a degen. He doesn't really care. He just wants, how do I get rich? That's what he's thinking. A regular.
Yeah, look, we call them degens. Look, if this is being a degen, I'll wear that. I'll wear that moniker with pride. That's what it is.
And all a degen is, it's a respectful term, is it's a guy who wants to get rich by doing nothing. We're all degens. Everybody wants that. Who doesn't want to get rich by doing nothing?
Well, look, fine, in a manner of speaking, but I would not consider what you're doing is nothing.
No.
You've put in a lot of hours. I mean, I've put in my time just locally. What you do on YouTube, I do locally over here. Yeah, and I'm sure other people, maybe even in this space, do this as well. So it's not like we're doing nothing.
What do you do locally and where?
Well, whoever will listen when if there's a local cafe or anybody wants to, because I'm kind of known a little bit, as I know a little bit of what's happening in the crypto space. I've crashed an XRP meeting at a local restaurant. They rented the upstairs. That's like a banquet hall. I crashed the XRP space, and let me tell you, I got the death stares over here, complete death stares.
Wow, wouldn't they be? They didn't want to learn more. They didn't want.
No, they didn't. No, the people holding the space. I should clarify. The people holding the space gave me the death stares. Everybody else, all the normies, you could say, they all want to know. Yeah. They definitely want to know. The thing is, there's the people, like I said earlier, there are people that don't want to know, and they are financially incentivized not to know. So don't mix this up with a regular population.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's a very small group with loud voices that do not want you to say. They want to limit speech.
Yeah. Okay. Look, Gavin, I'm going to keep listening, but I don't know if you could hear it over the speaker. I'm really sick. I've been sick from the call we had. Man, my eyes hurt. Everything hurts. So I'll drop down. I'm still here. That's it. I'll drop down.
All right. Thanks, bro. Get well.
Bye.
Daniel Street.
What I want to know is, so I've just made a post on X. I'd love to hear from a BTCer in terms of what their thoughts are with this recent cast update of Dave Kleiman, because I want to see how their reality is distorted with this, because for them it doesn't make sense that Dave Kleiman would be in this film.
How do you spin that? Maybe it's how would they spin that?
I don't know, but they've got a way to spin everything. You know, they're living in almost a dual reality. So I'd love to hear how they explain this.
I had a BTC guy up here recently, and he was really, he was in BTC. It wasn't that long ago. Remember that, Casey? We had him up here, and he was telling us about why BTC was so great, why he loved BTC, and he was also a very level-headed guy. So I mean, if anybody wants to make the case for that, I'm always open to hearing it. I'm not saying that I'm right or we're right. Like, go ahead, make the case, convince me. I mean, right? Would you? I mean, I like to keep the mindset of being coachable, always being coachable. I don't know every single thing in the world. I definitely don't know everything about this. If there's some secret that I want to know about it. I want to get the information first, so please tell me.
Yeah. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen BTC Gus.
BTC Gus, no.
Yeah, okay. He's one of the. He's a user on X, but a huge BTCer, and I think he delved into the BSV space very briefly 4 to 5 weeks ago. And I sent him a message just recently, just saying, have you watched any Craig Wright videos? He's like, no, I haven't. Send some over. Send through your top recommended Craig Wright videos. I'm like, no, just search for yourself. Like, there's multiple videos online. See how you go. Have a watch. And then I checked in with him again 2 days ago, after 3 weeks, and I said, how'd you go with the Craig Wright videos? Any thoughts? Any new revelations? He's like, I haven't had time to listen to any of them. It's like, none of the BTCs just are curious. They don't want to put in the time or the effort, which I don't understand. Like, if someone said to me now, hey, by the way, BTC is not Bitcoin and Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto, I'd be like, what? And then I'll consume every single video on Craig.
You want to verify
for some reason,
see if that was true or not.
Yeah, I'll verify if it's true. But the BTC is either they're too lazy or they're unable to do this.
Is that really it? I really wonder or is it? I don't know. It's an interesting question.
It's strange. But even
I think it's to people don't want to be duped. I think a lot of people are very wary of being duped. But I think we're obviously like a bit more open to that, maybe, like to actually seeing if there is a possibility. Does that make sense?
Well, if you were warned about a scam, wouldn't you want to know more? Hey, you might be involved in a scam. Yeah. What? Yeah. Tell me more. I don't want to be involved in a scam.
Yeah.
So, I don't get it.
Because things started falling into place for me after, I reckon it was 1 or 2 Craig Wright videos back in 2019. Because I was in BTC camp, BSV is just a fork, Craig Wright's a scammer, he's a fraud. But then I watched one of his MetaNet presentations. I'm like, oh, hang on a sec. This guy seems to know a lot about Bitcoin. And then anyway, delved down the rabbit hole. And 2 weeks later, had understood that BSV was Bitcoin and Craig was Satoshi. But for whatever reason, the BTCers or just a lot of people either don't want to undertake the research, or maybe they do undertake the research and they still can't comprehend it. I don't know. It's strange.
Why is it that we never? She remember a couple years ago they were saying that we're going to get BlackRock in, they were going to get all those institutions into BTC. That came and went. That happened, right? All those guys came in, and the price went down. What happened? Why did BTC go down when all the BlackRock and all those people got in? Michael Saylor was promising everybody that was going to go up. What the hell? Do you know?
Yeah, the institutions came in, but then I don't know. Maybe they got out over the last, in October, November last year, and all the dumb
that
money.
was supposed to be the run. That was going to be the run. That was Michael Saylor guaranteed that. That was the guarantee. Never happened.
That was a huge red flag. As soon as everyone was talking about BTC going to 200,000 or 250,000, I thought, this is a clear top for the end of the market.
Top.
We're at the top.
I think it might just be in human nature. Like people just, when they hear an authority tell them something, they believe it. If it's like an actual, everyone else is listening to this authority, they're all believing it, everyone just follows. I think it's just human nature. I think there's just like a subset, because I've been to a few BSV conferences and you speak to people and everyone's just on the same level. It's weird.
People at
Everyone's
BSV are very high level, usually
fire,
very highly evolved. They're higher evolved. Bailey should come up here, man. If you want to come up and join. Bales, he very high level, enlightened, I'd say, more of an enlightened. So maybe that's the difference. Because I was in Arizona last year and I sat down during the trial and I was like, man, I'm sitting down at this meeting with this lady, and it was a high level meeting. She was at this bank, I don't know what it was, like a banker meeting. It was a pretty big deal. And I was like, the trial's going on. I was like, listen, I know, she was telling me about her husband was watching everything about Michael Saylor, every single video, and he loves Michael Saylor, and that's his hero. He's buying BTC. And I said, hey, I respect your decision. I said, but you might want to do, just start looking around and doing and mitigating your risk, because Michael Saylor's his track record isn't so good. I think he was the largest loser on Wall Street of all time. As far as I know. And first of all, I said, second of all, so that should be a red flag. And second of all, I think he's pumping BTC, and that's not Bitcoin. And he just takes a little bit of research, And I just do a little bit. I never got the follow up to find out if they figured it out or not, but I hope they did, because the price went way down after that, way down. So I don't know. It's we got Vince. Okay, Bailey's not up. What else? Casey, Nicole, what's new? So what else are you up to? We got your friend
Bailey
Reggie.
is
Bailey is coming up. Oh, he is. What's up, Bailey?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. I saw you on that meeting yesterday. I saw Jay Paps on there and everybody, so that was great to see you. And I just thought it's great to have this. We got this thing with Kleiman now. Were you around when the Kleiman trial was going on?
Definitely, yeah. Well, actually, that might have been the year before I got in. I think I got in 2019.
Well, okay. Well, Kleiman, no, Craig, wait. No, I know for sure that Kurt was covering Kleiman between 2020 and 2021. That was the trial.
Okay.
Yeah. So the lawsuit started in 2018, but it didn't go to trial till, I have to check the date. It was either 2020 or 2021 for sure. Because I know where I was when the trial was going on, because I was glued to the thing, the CoinGeek live on the trial recap when he was there. It was just epic. There was another guy, he and another guy would go do color during the trial. Do you remember that? What's that guy's name? Not Tristan. He was a black guy. Casey, what was that guy's name? He was great. He used to do color commentary during the Kleiman trial with Craig. No? Nobody remembers? Casey?
I'm drawing a blank. I can
Long
hear his
dreadlocks,
voice.
dreadlocks, and tall. Anyway, super sharp guy. Patrick?
I think his name is Patrick.
Yes, I think it is Patrick. Yes.
Pat Peasy.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, Pat from CoinGeek.
Pat. He was great, dude. He was a great color guy. And I was glued to to the live, because they would recap. They were in the courtroom every day, and they had Antonopoulos there testifying, and then they had Gavin Andreessen testifying, and they had Craig testifying, and they had all these people testifying. It's like a all-star cast. I know that Jay Paps, he was there in the courtroom one day, and he saw Antonopoulos up there on the stand. I mean, these are like these all-star people testifying in the Kleiman case, and they were all there recapping. So you must have been there. You must have remembered that, Bailey, right? If you,
I wasn't around for that, I don't think.
so you
That
came
was
in after
before
that,
my
then?
time. Yeah.
Wow.
The Copa trial, I remember, was Zach.
For sure, Copa.
Yeah, right.
So how did you hear about this cult? they call Kate Mosso said I'm in a cult or whatever. I'm like, that's fine. You want to call it, make a joke. I don't care.
She says it like a New Yorker, though. She says cold.
Yeah.
So you don't hear cult, you hear cold.
Cold.
What are you talking about?
So how did you
So
hear
you
about
think
it?
this Finding Satoshi movie, Gavin, how could they come to any other conclusion besides Craig? Have you ever tried to vet any of the other names? I mean, it just, all of them seem like weak.
Well, it's it's Michael Saylor funded film. You got Saylor's the star of the film, and so
Oh,
that's they're not going to talk about Craig. That hurts their business model. That causes the Great Bitcoin Flippening. That's what they don't want. They do not want us talking about that. So no,
it
they
seemed
don't.
like the main star of the movie was that journalist who says at the end, like, I know who Satoshi is. Is that not the premise of the movie?
I'm not too up to Daniel. I would know better than I would. I've not been following it too much. Daniel, do you know about the fake movie Finding Satoshi much?
No. I only found it. I think it's 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're putting it out in a hurry, it seems like. But they say they've been working on it for 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years working with a private investigator to try to work out who Satoshi is when it's clear as day who Satoshi is.
Yeah, it's always been obvious.
Oh, hasn't. I'm gonna jump off for another call, but I'll jump back on.
Cheers,
after
man.
that.
Thanks, Daniel.
Okay, cheers.
Gavin, I was wondering, are we allowed to talk about that meeting yesterday? Because I didn't think anything all that.
I have no. Daniel, he told me after the thing, he's like, "Did you sign an NDA at the meeting?" And I'm like, "I didn't know about any NDA. No, I never heard about any NDA." So I talked about the meeting yesterday. I talked about it today. I mean, I'm not aware of anything that was off the record. Are you?
No.
Okay.
What'd you
I don't want
think?
to breach anybody's privacy. I'm not trying to do that, but I wasn't personally, and I'm not, and I would respect it if it was private, but no one said that to me, and I didn't sign anything, so I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Did you?
There was
Rodolfo?
nothing
Or
private, right?
No, not
Rodolfo?
that I didn't see anything like that either.
Well, Daniel told me he signed an NDA. That's what I thought was interesting. So he did.
So I thought that was the NDA that you've been talking about, Gavin. You've got another NDA on the side there?
Oh, yeah. No, mine was not that. No, mine was about something totally. No, not that at all.
The movie, right? Didn't you have some NDA?
Mine was more about the movie stuff. So,
Gotcha.
Yep.
Let's talk about. I wanted to kind of, if you guys are open to it, talk about Kleiman, because you talked about in the title here of David Kleiman, and I've always found it fascinating the company that they had, W&K Info Defense Research, I think was the name of it, and the apparently in that case that we're talking about, in the Kleiman versus Wright case, it came out that the company was primarily a vehicle for U.S. Department of Homeland Security research grants. So these guys were defense contractors at a high level, and I think that's a fascinating part of the story here about their relationship.
So that's funny that you mentioned that, and I agree with you, but I didn't remember that connection. So you're saying that W&K was what's the connection with that?
Well, during the case, Kleiman versus Wright, David's brother, Ira Kleiman, He argued that W&K was a partnership used to mine Bitcoin and develop blockchain intellectual property. And of course, they claim the company held a massive hoard of those Bitcoins. That was the whole case was about. But during the case, it came out, Craig Wright's side argued that the company was primarily a vehicle to apply for U.S. Department of Homeland Security research grants. And he claimed that because he was Australian, he needed a U.S. partner, Kleiman, to qualify for these contracts.
And also a military guy, probably too. Which
Right.
makes sense, because if you're a VA, you have, or DOD, you have military. There's a whole nother lane to go in, and Kleiman was.
Right. So these guys were defense contractors. I mean, the guys that, Craig Wright and Kleiman were working for the Department of Homeland Security and trying to get contracts with the U.S. government. I think that's fascinating.
Wonder, that came out during the trial. I mean, Casey, didn't he talk about that at some point? I know he talked a lot about that. Remember between the 2010 and 2014 era, he was doing a lot of that back in, was it some other country? Remember that? He was doing a lot of really secret work. I don't know. Don't you remember that, Casey? I know he talked about that before, but it sounded like defense contractor work.
I do. I think I put some info in the Nest about it and texted you. There's a couple posts in the Nest you could check out and talk about if you want.
Okay, Satoshi's claim on the trial of the century, Kleiman. Heck yeah, that's badass. Let me scroll ahead. If I go left, why don't you show me which one you're talking about?
Go again so I could research it a little bit and put some stuff in the Nest about what you were specifically just talking about. But I did throw a couple things in there from Kurt. He was there live at all of these court cases. And I think he just, a few of his posts there in the Nest talking about, all of these major trials have been people who refuse to meet Craig at a negotiating table. So it's just important to note, he's not out here trying to, use litigation to manipulate and bully people. It's kind of the other way around, which is something I feel like the BTC crowd has had the narrative trying to say
done
that.
Nothing but give people notice, saying, "Hey, please stop doing that. Please do not do that. No, I don't care. F you. They say, please stop slandering me, libeling me, calling me, all these names. He gives them even notice. Sometimes he'll publish a notice in the newspaper. That's actually what the law requires. You're really supposed to do everything you can to first talk to the person and go to your adversary first, in any way you possibly can. If they won't talk to you, then you at least do public notice. Hey, please stop doing this, or I have no other choice. Everything I've seen he's done that every time. He always asks the other side to stop doing that, or he doesn't sue everybody. No, I mean, it seems that way, but that's not the case. It's the last resort. That's been my experience. So when there's no other choice. Dolfo, I got you unmuted. So, Bailey, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say there's some weird noise coming across.
Dolfo, it's got to be you. You're unmuted. There we go. Okay, nice. J Paps, your hand's up. You still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. Just a fun fact. I'm not sure how many of you guys may or may not know this. When they found Dave Kleiman dead, they found a .45 caliber pistol in the bed with him. And this was something that, if I remember correctly, they wanted to strike from the court records, which is why it's kind of hush-hush. It probably won't even make it into the movie. Because if he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, because of all the pain he was in, he might have offed himself without giving any Bitcoin or telling Ira anything. That would play into the hands of Craig Wright. So you guys were talking about Dave Kleiman. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I remember Robin Delisher was down there. She told me this just, I met with her recently. She was telling me, she investigated that whole thing, said the same thing, that Kleiman was found to have, I think it was like a gun or something like, and potentially the whole story was covered up on how he died. You know, it wasn't looked into.
Well, like I said, when you're financially incentivized not to look into something, you're not going to look into it.
Wow. Well, you figure his brother would want to look into it. You know, that was his brother, and he cared.
No. Why would his brother want to look into him when it would not play into his hands? I think, right?
Well, you know, from what I read, his brother actually never even talked to him in years, not even Thanksgiving. And
yeah, he's a scumbucket.
yeah.
I got a good look at him, man. I got a good look at him. A rat.
Oh, you did?
Rat.
You saw him?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of taking a leak next to him in the toilet.
Wow. Well, he got what happened was he got this leak from the whole what was that whole article that came out? Remember the articles that started coming out in 2015 that outed Craig?
Yeah.
That was from
Gizmodo.
Kleiman.
That was him. That was Ira.
Yeah, because Craig did the video. He was sad about Dave dying. Craig, according to the testimony in the court, what I saw, the email said that Craig wrote to Ira and sent his condolences to Dave about his brother. He wanted to send his condolences. And also, he mentioned something like, if you find a hard drive, let me know. It's important. Something like that.
Don't throw out. It was don't throw out any of his hard drives. There might be some Bitcoin on them. And what Ira did, and this is a class act here. I remember this story. What Ira did was he overwrote all the hard drives and put music on them. And imagine your brother, if you have a brother or a sister, imagine your sibling. All you have left of these people, of this person, is what is on those hard drives. Would you not at least open them up and look through and see what they were working on, get an idea of what their last days were, so you could feel like you could somehow understand them better, or just remember them better? What did this guy do? He erased everything and overwrote music on them. Scum.
So he erased all the
Scumbag.
Bitcoin that was on there.
If there was. The point is he didn't even look.
Didn't even look.
He didn't even visit his brother for the last 2 or 3 years, not even once at the hospital or at his house. Not once.
Oh.
But as soon as there was free money to be had, he started launching lawsuits.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see if that part makes it into the movie.
Dolfo.
According to the case, the Kleiman Wright case, I was reading that he was actually found by his brother.
Really?
So like shortly a few days after, like having passed away several days before, his brother and the police went over to his house and found him dead.
If
That's what
he
I
was
heard,
there,
but I'm not.
it may be, but if he was there, he was only there because he was next of kin, and the police needed that to go in. This guy didn't care. He didn't give a rat's ass about his brother.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I think all the evidence points to that.
Well, he didn't get any money from the court case either. All he got was attorney bill.
No, actually, you're wrong there.
Oh.
Because Ira Kleiman, when I was, it was starting from, I think it was day 3 or something. He was there on day 1. I was only there on day 1, by the way. He I think it was starting from day 2 or day 3, somewhere there. He wasn't even coming to court anymore. Ira sold the rights to whatever would be had from suing Craig Wright to some firm, which was then suing Craig Wright.
Was that Kyle Roach?
Kyle Roach was the lawyer. Now, there's obviously somebody behind Kyle Roach paying him.
Yeah.
Now, those people paid Ira. I have a number of $6 million in mind. I could be wrong, but it's irrelevant. The whole point is this guy was such a money grubbing scumbag. he did. As soon as he saw he can get some money, he just took it and he ran.
And he left.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were even saying, and they were. I remember Kurt saying that like he didn't even care to show up to court. So I mean, but he got paid, right? He got his money. He left. Yeah.
Crazy. Dude, I see Vince has
look.
joined us. What's up, Vince? Vince, talk to me.
What's up, guys? How you doing, Gavin?
Up. Good to see you, buddy. Were you around during the days of the trial in Miami and all that?
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that, man. I think I showed up like we were just downtown because one of the days was my birthday, and I guess it was like August, like mid-August sometime, but I can't remember the year. But somebody was saying because there was a lot of hoopla going on or whatever. It was at the federal courthouse, downtown West Palm, and so I asked somebody, I was like, oh, and I knew nothing about Bitcoin or anything like that. So I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, you know.
You
But
just heard there was a
no,
Bitcoin trial and you didn't know
yeah,
anything about it.
yeah, yeah.
But you were
Something
around and
with,
just didn't know about it. You remember it happening.
and I'm kind of glad, you know, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
You didn't want to look into it at that point, and it didn't make you curious?
No, I
Oh.
really wasn't into I was like, you know, really XRP heavy at that point. There was nothing else. That was it. That's all that mattered. And
What did you like about
so
XRP at that time?
because it was anti-Bitcoin, really, you know, and
Anti-BTC, you mean? Because you figure,
wh-
or
what's
what?
that?
Like anti-BTC or
Yeah,
yeah,
and it was just that you know it attracted all of the you know the cute the cute type people or whatever, and you know, and there was something to it. And the case, well, you know, I can't remember. I think it was like in late the end of that the case against Ripple was filed at the end of 2020 or something.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what got me into XRP, you
Huh.
know. So because I know it's kind of the same thing that got me into you know BSV with Craig, because I mean that's what really interested me was the case. And you know so I just you know followed, and I was like, wow, I go, this is like crazy, you know. And you know, how could this happen? And I saw something there, then I started watching his videos.
Well, Daniel
And
Daniel Street was saying earlier that he said, well, well, people in XRP and these other things, they don't do the research or whatever, they're not interested. So what was what was inside your mind at that time? Did anybody send you anything about Craig or anything at that time? You just were like, no, I'm not interested in looking into this, or what was going on in your head?
no, I didn't know anything about Craig or BSV or
Oh, you
anything
just
until,
okay.
yeah, until I just kind of, I don't know how I came across it through YouTube videos or something. And in fact, I think I had bought like way back just like 50 BSV just for whatever, because it was part of, you know, the Bitcoin thing. And I was like, oh, well, you know, but I knew nothing about it. And I made a couple bucks on it and sold it, and that was it. That was the, you know. And then when I revisited, I was like, oh, BSV, you know. And I started, you know, watching Craig's videos, and but, you know, aside from the case stuff, you know, and I was like, everything this guy's saying is like, you know, is right. I don't know what's the issue. And then that's what made me dig deeper into the case. I was like, oh my God, this is all bullshit, you know. And and then one thing that made me like really kind of a little bit more intrigued about it was that Dave Kleiman lived like, you know, 20 minutes away from me, you know.
So
So
what do you think about this defense contractor stuff Rodolfo was saying about the whole W and W?
yeah, I mean, you know, look, it's no secret that Craig was involved in the NSA, and you know, working also for the Australian version of NSA and so forth. He was in it, and Kurt had told me that he was, you know, working on these like counterterrorism, especially against human trafficking. And, you know, the guy wasn't just, you know, what people thought, you know, according to Kurt, you know, that he wasn't just the cyber guy, you know, the computer guy. Because I think I had read somewhere that, you know, he was the guy that they sent in after the teams had you know, cleared the scene, and when they started gathering evidence, he was the computer guy. But Kurt was telling me that he was actually like a combat type guy too. I mean, he's kind of
Kleiman.
a badass. No, not Kleiman. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Craig.
Oh, Craig, for sure. No
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah. I thought
He's a
that's what you were
well-trained
talking.
martial artist. He's a world-class martial artist for
Yeah,
sure.
but he actually went in. It wasn't just he was the computer guy, you know, when he went in, when they went on these missions in South America or whatever, human trafficking busting missions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, there's certain guy. My grandfather was this way. You'll meet a guy. He's an older guy, and you know, when he comes up and grabs your hand, he's got like the iron claw grip of a hand. Just because my grandfather worked at like iron and steel, like blue collar worker his whole life, and so he grabbed my hand, he would just crush it. I'm like, oh my god, that's how Craig's hands are. If you shake them, you know, that's
Yeah.
how. It's
Yeah. So,
some IT guy for you, you know. He's just an
yeah,
IT guy,
right.
they said.
Yeah, I know. Just, I mean, so the whole thing was just so preposterous. Like, there's got to be something to this. And then that's what piqued my interest, was that it was just so ridiculous what they were, you know, um, and and I never knew any of the BTC people. I didn't know, who they were, the whole cast of characters or anything. But then I started listening to them, and I'm like, God, these guys are just like just like degenerates. Every single one of them. And you know what? Like, honestly, like every not every, because I mean, a lot of people own Bitcoin or whatever, but a lot of these BTC people that are like real, that I've met, that are really into it, I never met one that I liked. I don't know whether, and that's without the bias of having the BSV. I mean, this is just, they're all just like this kind of like, and I don't want to stereotype or generalize or whatever, but a lot of them are just these arrogant types that I don't even know how to explain it. They're just like this, you know,
It's
what's
called like
his
entitled. They're entitled.
yeah, like they're so above, and what I don't know the guy's name that was just talking or whatever that you
J
mentioned,
Paps.
Ira. Yeah, that was just talking about, Kleiman's brother. Money grubbing. That's what they just sound like. It's just money grubbing, And
Yeah.
I mean, look, it'd be disingenuous for any of us to say, "Oh, we're here for the tech only," and yeah, all right, whatever, bullshit. That's that'd be disingenuous too. But these people are just so like overt and whatever about it, and it's just kind of just this cringe. That's how I want to almost explain it, as just cringe. That but anyway.
Casey, let me go to Casey. I see one of your posts that says, "Did you want to share this one? You just wrote BSV's up 23% all week." I see it's pretty long. Do you want to mention what your findings are here?
I was just looking at the price action. Does anybody else have any insights on what's going on? Why it's up 23% in 7 days? Well, I mean, I asked chat, if it had any information, and it said it's not random, it's a signal. And the volume expansion is serious buyers have stepped in. When volume hits BSV, it moves fast. Capitulation is reversal from weak hands that sold at the bottom, and the strong hands have absorbed it. That's how trend shifts begin. Technical breakout, clean double bottom formed. Smart money doesn't ignore that. Supply is already locked in, all the coins already in circulation. So when demand returns, price accelerates. This isn't the market. BSV is moving while most other crypto is completely flat, which is something I've definitely been watching. That's not correlation, that's rotation. Attention is coming back to truth. That's the real driver. At the exact same time, Bitcoin's origin story is back in the conversation. Killing Satoshi narrative building, real names starting to surface. Identity can't stay hidden forever, and that's what people miss. BSV is the only chain positioned for that shift. Utility plus scale plus provable history. In crypto, attention follows price, and price forces people to look again. BSV is still massively undervalued relative to what it actually is. So that is the early signal that ChatGPT has said is the reason for it being up so much in 7 days. So that's exciting, but I would love to hear, Satoshi's chart analysis, or like Matt with B11 BU. People that are way more educated on how to read charts, having someone up to do some technical analysis would be great.
I see the chart just flipping, going like this. It goes from like where you see the BTC and then the BSV just flips. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you could probably trade, right? If you're a smart trader right now, would be a good time to watch it. Because I think it was just going, well, I didn't, but according to what you're reading here, you're saying it's going up while the other stuff was going down. Is that
It's
right?
been flat. Everything else has been flat or going down. I did just invite Tony up. I know he's a trader and has a lot more information on charts and stuff. I don't know if you want to come up and say hello.
Talk to me.
But
Who is
yeah,
it? Tony?
it's very exciting. I've definitely seen a lot of momentum in BSV, and nothing else is moving at all right
Well, I
now.
mean,
And
this, last week, I mean, I was checking Grok. They said that the post in the show that I had last week was over 10,000 impressions with X and YouTube, 10,000 plus. That was like 3 days ago. So apparently people are really excited about this movie. They want to know what the heck's going to happen with this movie. Is it right? I mean, I didn't see the other one with Michael Saylor getting anybody looking at it. Finding Satoshi,
well, and if you
nobody was
look at the
watching.
comments on that entire thread, it's all BSV people and BSV support. So I don't think that movie's going to go very far unless it's just blasted out to everyone that doesn't know anything. We've just got to get.
Or maybe they're not having the paid marketing that they're used to getting, because they used to have a blockchain would fund all the operations. I remember they would have Blockstream would hire Jimmy, and all these people would come in, and they would come in here to the space here, and then they would yell and scream, and people would infiltrate, and there was always like a lot of paid agitators. Always. I'm not saying. Are you seeing the? I'm not seeing that as much. They might have given up because after Craig lost, they figured it's over. Maybe. I mean, it could be what happened. They don't need to they don't need to have they don't need to do any. Well, they're doing this movie, but they're not marketing it. That's what I'm seeing. But the marketing is the key. That's the key. We had this great thing yesterday with a lot of the developers, and the development is really the plumbing is the most. It is really it's the most important part. Absolutely, but most of us don't understand the development of how the plumbing works. And while I want to learn, and I think everybody should do the MetaNet Academy, isn't that what it is, Casey? MetaNet Academy. You learn.
Yes, it is. And I am going through that. And it's $200, but I mean, it's worth it. And I just asked Braden the other day to add a referral system into it. So I think they're going to do that. So if, you are referring people to go through it, you'll be able to earn a commission here soon. But it's worth it, even for non-technical people. I definitely recommend getting, a little group together of people that can, go through it as accountability partners, and kind of play off of each other's skill sets, if need be at some point. I'm not going through it completely by myself. I have a girlfriend of mine that's a developer that's going through it with me. So I'm able to continue moving forward where I was getting stuck. So that's really fun. But I highly recommend it.
Having a once a week, and I'm not saying but I guess my own experience is I do once a week like groups like this on the legal stuff, and so I have like an accountability group on that, and we kind of just talk about things, mastermind, how's things going, what are you up to, what did you learn, those types of things are really important because it kind of challenges me to make sure that I've made progress. What have I done? And with that it makes things make me have progress, because I don't want to let the other people down and be like, well, I didn't do anything at all. That would suck. No, I have to make progress. Every day, every week, there's got to be some progress. And so I think having that would be great. I mean, I was thinking about doing another group like that.
Well, and I did tell, we had the MetaNet meetup on Friday with Ty and everybody. And after the StreamYard, we were all talking for a little bit. And I did tell them the truth about being on Zoom with my friend, showing her as I was going through it. And as that's not ideal, they understood and encouraged, me to move forward in whatever way possible. And they're going to help me get her involved into the academy as well. So they're totally willing to work with anybody, no matter what your skill set or education level on any of this stuff. There's a team of people that will connect with you. And, obviously you're welcome to reach out to me if you're going to go through it and you get stuck, because I'll be building that momentum as well, pioneering it for anyone else. Just
Rodolfo, I think,
keep that
started
in
doing
mind.
it, and I talked about it, and I got intimidated. So, Rodolfo, didn't you do it or start doing it? He went on mute.
Oh, he dropped down. I had him up. Maybe he's having technical problems because I just
Okay.
added him as
I
a
remember
speaker.
he and I were talking about it, and I got intimidated. So I haven't done it, but
Yeah, don't get intimidated. It's worth it. There's still a lot of info that you will enjoy before it
yeah.
gets into the coding stuff. But even when you get there, enough of us in this space that, like I said, we can just form these groups and work through it together instead of getting stuck and stopping.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I mean, this is the skill set. I honestly, my friend's in school for computer engineering right now, and we were going through her college level paid courses versus the MetaNet Academy. And I mean, she was just like jaw dropped of the difference in old, outdated, regurgitated info being taught in her, college course versus top of the line information that's going to allow her to become, a self-made millionaire with the skill set that she can go anywhere in the world with and, support herself. So it's just a night and day what's being taught in the different educational opportunities out here. So I just can't rave enough about the MetaNet Academy at this time. I feel like it's something that if you learn how to build on this blockchain, you'll be able to write your own paychecks.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's one angle we want to support, because that's the plumbing side. But the other side, and we were talking about yesterday, is the marketing side, because most people are going to be intimidated by that, and most people aren't going to be able to do that. Even though it seems like it's okay, for a regular person, it's still it's a long shot for a regular person. And so most people, they need marketing, they need simple, they need basics, they just need, what is this? How do I get it? How do I get involved? How do I get rich? What do I do? And so we want to market to that crowd. And then of that, other people will want to do the development too, a small percentage. But my point is that we need to have a marketing dialed in, and it's going to happen. The movie's coming out. I hope it doesn't come out too soon. If it's coming out in June, that's way too soon. We're not ready. We need another 6 months, maybe 9 months, please. I would be great. Because I have some other ideas.
We definitely need to do something special for the core group of people that's been here the whole time, because you get, some big influencers that start talking about this, and our group could get swallowed up real quick, but we have something really special here that these people, they've been researching this and spending all this time together throughout all these different court cases and just all of this drama. I just feel like we've got to do something that,
Like what?
I don't know. I don't know. That's off the top of my head. Just to keep, I guess we're going to be technologically, the builders will still be on the front lines of the conversation, but, just making sure that the narrative really stays with the people that have the full scope of the history and can really, be telling the truth, instead of some of these big influencers that might find out late to the party and not have all the details and be swallowing up the story.
Like
But
John Wayne, like Crypto Voyager.
no,
Crypto Voyager, John Wayne, you're here. And also even one guy from Australia, he's a real OG. A lot of people don't like him. Packard,
I
Packard.
missed that
He knows
Bitcoin's
the
Got
whole
Talent.
story. What?
Do you remember where you weren't around when River and Jack Lou and
No,
what was the other guy's name? I can't remember if
I don't
anybody
remember
remembers his name. There was Bitcoin's Got Talent show.
No,
Do you guys remember that one?
I don't. That's early.
Something it was very similar to the Shark Tank thing that we had talked about before, Gavin, where there was just a panel of judges and investors, and people would come on and pitch their idea, and it was like Craig's niece River and Jack Lou and shit, I'm drawing a blank on the other guy's name, but they had a guest speakers too, but it was the main three judges and they had access to funds. So if you had a really good project, you could get it funded. So it was just a version of America's Got Talent, I guess, kind of. And they had like game show set up with all the different, bells and whistles throughout the episodes. But it was really fun. I just feel like we need to have something like that as all the new stuff comes in and the people come in, we have like a space to bring them all to that's like the main stage,
Mm-hmm. Definitely
the best marketing
is important. Any ideas, Vince? Go ahead.
I was going to say the best marketing that you could, I mean, you can't even pay for is this Finding Satoshi movie, believe it or not. Because what that does is, I mean, in sales, everybody knows, you don't worry about competition. Why? Because they're creating buyers. They're stirring up the pot. They're getting people interested, whereas otherwise they wouldn't be interested, And and the people that are going to be watching the Finding Satoshi movie are going to be the pro BTC people, right? But what you're doing though is you're getting them, you're prepping them up for the news of Killing Satoshi. Then when Killing Satoshi comes out, they're going to be more interested, or they're going to know, let them teach them. You know what I'm saying? Let them go ahead and do the heavy lifting, and because I think that is going to introduce the whole Bitcoin story to them. Whereas otherwise they would know nothing of it if they would have just seen the watch Killing Satoshi first. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're creating buyers, they're creating that interest, and then you'll have a more educated group when Killing Satoshi comes out.
Definitely. If it's first, actually, it is coming out first, isn't it? Coming out soon?
Killing Satoshi, yeah, it's like the end of the month or something, right? It's April 22nd.
Yeah.
I mean, Finding Satoshi. Sorry. Yeah, April 22nd, right?
They're gonna find Hal Finney was Satoshi, or another guy, Peter Todd. Yep. The usual suspects.
Yeah, it could not be Hal Finney though.
No.
Hal Finney had just finished a marathon when a confirmed email from Satoshi was sent to I forgot who. So that was the actual fact that ruled out Hal Finney 100%.
Plus, Hal Finney was only involved for like a week or so, right? It was like a really brief time frame. He just happened to be running Bitcoin the very first time, and he posted that thing on X, and then he put it aside. He said it was running his machine too hot, and he forgot about it for a long time. And then he died.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because Hal Finney has to become a central figure because it's either that or Craig Wright. So it's going to be Hal Finney, right? It's just what it is.
Yeah. Well, I guess for their theory,
Peter Todd is playing with My Little Pony at 15 years old, but somehow he was Satoshi.
Yeah.
Which I'd like to say yet again, he's still playing with My Little Pony.
He still is.
Cause for concern there.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody look at the comments on this Finding Satoshi trailer underneath. I mean, it just goes on. Hasn't already commented to go ahead and post in that thread.
Okay, let's go through the space. Let's go through the thread. You got Express here. I did a small network upgrade of mine, a serious player in cybersecurity, government adversarial. Even he knows Craig Wright is the creator of Bitcoin. They're all talking about Chronicle and Terranode. That's Express at BSV. That's I did a small network upgrade, a friend of mine, a serious player in cybersecurity. Even he knows Craig Wright is the creator of Bitcoin and BSV is the real Bitcoin. They're all aware of Chronicle and Terranode, for sure. TikTok, that's the Great Bitcoin Flippening, baby.
And that has 3,100 views.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Then next, you got your post here from Kleiman and CoinGeek. This was Craig at the CoinGeek and Kleiman. W&W awarded $143 million, but Oh yeah, the Florida court overseeing. This is the actual story from CoinGeek. Who owns W&W? And this is where they broke down the fact that it was actually his two ex-wives, or his wife and his ex-wife, and then a third to Kleiman. Yeah, 50% Dave, 50% the Judge Reinhardt. Judge Reinhardt was the same judge that did the warrant on Trump's raid.
And he was Epstein's lawyer.
And Epstein's lawyer. Yep. Wow. The connections, man.
The tales we weave.
I mean, it's amazing though to think about how the Kleiman case worked out in Craig's favor after what he was up against. To be honest, I think the only way they were able to spin the narrative was this sanction at the end, pay W&W this money. But that wasn't because he lost the case.
Well, no, but like you were saying earlier, look how they spin the narrative.
Yeah.
He basically had to pay most of the money to himself, and the other side spun that into a loss.
Right. But it's clear as day that Craig won the case. That's the law. That's what it says. But
it is. It's clear as day for the people who want to see what's going on. For the people that look, a lot of people, they outsource their thinking, right? They outsource it to the cloud, and the cloud seems to be the mass media or celebrities these days. Which is why I think the Killing Satoshi movie is going to be really good, because people are stupid. They got to have someone else tell them what to think.
One of the challenges I got out there, and I mentioned it yesterday, but I want to get it out there to this group, is like a funnel. People, we don't have a funnel. There's no funnel. So I'm trying to think about where are people going to go when they watch this movie? There has to be a simple funnel for them.
Hey,
onboarding.
Thought about.
Hey, J-Pap, I'm sorry. Let me ask you, what do you think about Jack Dorsey being Satoshi?
Jack Dorsey?
Yeah.
Is this like joke time now?
No. I'm asking a legitimate question. I'm being
really?
Yeah. Well, look, I'll tell you this, right? I'm not arguing for it, right? All I'm saying is that there's been this big push, and it started with Jack Dorsey wearing the Satoshi shirt during the Super Bowl, and then Alyssa Milano had written a book, and it described it was. And that was this friend that was a developer, and he was writing the secret thing, basically kind of describing Jack Dorsey, and he was her friend. They were friends or something, right? But look, I know it's not or whatever, but I think that this goes to what I'm getting at is that's who may be the surprise figure that they may say on Finding Satoshi, someone that they haven't really talked about. I don't know.
Point the finger at Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, look, if you're going to attack it from that angle, absolutely. Look, we all know it can't be Craig Wright, so it might as well be Jack Dorsey.
Yeah. That would be a new spin for them. They could blame Jack Dorsey for all this. The guy who got, his Twitter taken, his baby, by that executive order. Remember? So, and that was
13818.
Yeah. Yep. Well, he had done crimes against humanity. He did all sorts of crime, dude. It was just a cesspool of crime and fraud. So, yeah, it was. Yeah, make him the guy in their movie. That'll be a good one for them. I don't think they would think. I don't think they're smart enough to think of that one, Vince. That would actually be a good play for them to do that. That would actually be a good play. Maybe they'll make another one about Jack Dorsey. You just came up with the idea.
Yeah. No, right?
Seriously.
The book was called Hacktivist.
Golfo.
The book was called Hacktivist that you're talking about by Alyssa Milano.
Was Alyssa Milano involved in that?
Yeah. 2014 that book came out, and it was a cyber thriller about a friendship between two tech entrepreneurs, Ed Hickey and Nate Graff, who were co-founders of a major social networking company called Your Life. That's Alyssa Milano's book, Hacktivist.
What are the chances of getting Craig on this space right now? I mean, he's posting on X. I wonder if he's watching. It says 41 minutes ago, Bitcoin. He made this long post about Bitcoin white paper. Is 8 pages long. It's a great post. Did you guys see that yet? Casey, it's on his second post down or third down from his thread. It says the Bitcoin white paper is 8 pages long. It's objective. It's stated is the abstract, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system allowing payments sent directly from one party to another without going directly through a financial institution, Nakamoto 2008. The word directly is doing the work. The system was designed to eliminate intermediaries from electronic value transfer, not to reduce them, not to replace them, not to different intermediaries wearing different labels, to eliminate them. And then he goes on to another post. One angle here about the movie that is going to come out is the motive and the whole thing. I think, what I believe is that Calvin is actually going to be the main character, and Pete Davidson's going to be the main character, with the Casey Affleck story, of Craig is in there. Of course, that's I think it's going to be done, and with that, it's going to tell the whole story about the problems that, remember, Calvin Air was having problems processing payments for Bodog. And then he knew Stephen Matthews from Centibet. They were allies. They were friends. They were competitors. They were both having problems processing payments. Craig would go into the office, all the time and do audits for Stephen Matthews. And he says, I had this great auditor. He was a great auditor because he always asked these weird questions, and very difficult, very hard questions that he would ask. And and Craig in the background, not telling those guys, he saw the problem they were having. So he's thinking, these guys aren't able to process their payments. They keep getting their merchant accounts shut down by Visa and MasterCard. There has to be a way to make this work. So he saw all those other systems having this contractor. And then I wonder how many years, we don't really know. I'd really like to know. I really want to answer that. Did he ever answer that question before he went on the gag order with Miller and all that? Did he ever answer the question about how many years of planning it took? Was it 20 years?
Yeah. He started developing it in the 90s. Okay. This is what I remember hearing from another interview.
So in the 90s, he started kind of thinking about this. Well, in the 90s, then it would have been 92 Bodog started. Then, Centibet would have been after that with the online gaming. And then shortly thereafter, they were unable to take credit card payments at all, or very limited. So Craig was consulting with Matthews at Centibet in Singapore. In Sydney. And then, he's seeing all these problems. Oh, you guys can't process credit card payments. So now the motive, the incentive, he's probably thinking, it had to be around that interaction. Because Matthew said he would go into the office all the time and he would sit down in these meetings, and he was the best auditor they ever had, but he was very awkward. And it'd been going on for years. I don't know how early Matthew said he first met him in. It was the 90s, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the 90s. That Matthews met him.
I'm not sure, but I can definitely attest to Craig is awkward. I mean, when I met him, there was an air to him. He was not he didn't strike me as being just a regular dude,
Yeah, he's not that he's there's something about him. I mean, I don't know. I met him in Dubai. I think I met him 4 or 5 times now in person, and so maybe 4 times. Yeah, it could be on or off. I don't know, but Matthews met him in the 90s. I'm pretty sure that's how it went, because he was doing the auditing at his company, Centibet. And then they're seeing the problem of, look, we can't process these credit cards. Now, he's probably not telling Craig that, but Craig's doing auditing of the gaming company, and he's realizing they're having these problems. So that's where the idea, I think, comes from. I'm just thinking of that in my head. I'm putting the puzzle together. I believe that's going to be if I were telling the story, that would be, the story has to kind of be told. Like, where did the idea come from? What problem was really motivated? There had to have been a motivation. And then you got the Titan of blockchain that comes in and kind of saves Bitcoin later on. So, dude, it's freaking badass, man. It's such a great story. Dolpho.
Yeah, it's dramatic, and that's what people like JPAP was saying earlier. People, don't often think but they'll sit back and watch a movie and allow their imagination to take them. And that's what fascinates me about, like, with Kleiman. Now we know that he is part of this movie, and we know, like we talked about earlier, his death was there was some things about his death that suggested, foul play and things like that. I've heard Kurt and other people talk about, some that basically it deserves another look. I think one of the interesting things, and this is stuff that I think, as we talk about marketing and stuff like that, that people can really sink their teeth into. They love drama, right? And so I'm curious to know, yeah, what role will David play in this? And and I'm curious what you guys think around, because I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. That's what led me to BSV. And I'm curious what you guys think about, who would have a motive if Kleiman was murdered? Who would have that motive? And also, do you think that might be part of the movie that might play into some of this drama, or
That's a good angle.
Kleiman's going to play a
That's a
role in
really
this?
good point, dude. The murder mystery side.
Yeah, Adolfo, Kleiman wasn't murdered. The reason why they kept the whole pistol in the bed. Look, I'm not saying he shot himself, but it is possible that he was considering it because he was in a lot of pain. The thing is, Ira was arguing that Dave would have wanted him to have all of this Bitcoin. This was part of Ira's premise. Now, if Dave knew he was like moments or days or hours away from dying, and he even had a pistol nearby to off himself because the pain was so bad, would he not have picked up the phone and called Ira and said, "Listen, buddy, brother, let me give you some Bitcoin here. Let me transfer these assets to you because I don't have a lot of time left." And this is why I think they hit all that, because that does not play into Ira's camp, so to speak. So Dave definitely was not murdered.
That's good to know. Let me grab Chris. Well, do you want to respond, Rodolfo? Then I'll go to Crypto Voyager.
Well, I'm not convinced yet, but I think it's an interesting angle. I guess there was something about a gun in the bed and a bullet hole in the mattress. I'd be interested to hear more about your thoughts on that. But
what about that?
That's all I got.
Why do you say he wasn't murdered if there was a gun in the bed and a bullet hole in the mattress, J-Paps?
Look, I'm saying that the guy killed himself. It's quite an accusation. I'm not saying it didn't happen. All I'm saying is I don't think Dave was I don't think Dave was murdered. Dave was bedridden, shooting a gun. I mean, just tell me if you guys are following my thinking here. If there's a guy that's bedridden and you want to kill him, I'm assuming you wouldn't want to fire a gun and make that big racket and attract so much attention. If he's bedridden and he can't move, you can just climb on top of him and smother him with a pillow. Makes a hell of a lot less noise.
What if there was a struggle that you don't know about?
He was bedridden. The guy can't move.
Right. Well, I'm saying that, if somebody tried, doing a home invasion or whatever to cause him harm, then,
Look, fine,
I'm sure
fine.
he would have had a gun, and, that's
Fine,
how, there was a struggle.
Look,
there was blood on the carpet, like dripping from the bed to the computer and all that,
Fine. Look, I'm just giving you my opinion. You have yours. That we could both be right. We could both be wrong. It's.
You guys do know that the autopsy report is online, don't you?
I do not know. I did not know that.
Crypto Voyager, you're up, buddy. Go ahead. If you could get a little closer to the mic as well, please.
Yeah, no, that's as close as I can get. That's it. I'm having fun staying poor, so I don't have the super duper setup.
Okay.
One, Dave Kleiman's autopsy report is online. So anybody that really wants to dig into it can read it, no problem. Then second, on the movie Killing Satoshi, how do I put this? In the 90s, there were, when movies came out, they always came out kind of like in doubles. Like, for example, Armageddon and Deep Impact. And one was super duper duper, and the other one was basically just the copycat, which was the shittier version one. Now, we already know that another one is coming out with Finding Satoshi. So the question now is going to be which one is going to be Deep Impact and which one is going to be Armageddon. That's one. And I'm way too cynical to think that this movie will bring anything to the table. So I don't want to get my hopes up. That's all I wanted to say. It might be just me fudding my bags so that it goes to $5, but yeah, you're gonna have to find that out yourself. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So the movie, it will be amazing when everybody sees the movie and goes like, "Oh my God, we again crucified a genius, just like we did with Galileo, just like we did with Turing and all that other stuff." But it's a big club. You guys ain't in it. I'm not in it. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Sorry to be a Debbie Downer.
No problem.
Crypto Voyager, would you not agree that just the fact that this movie is being made may have maybe the tide is turning in terms of the powers that be maybe not wanting this information before, not wanting this information to be released, and now things changing.
So the last movie that I've seen that was basically kind of like against mainstream was oh, by the way, very on the nose, today being Easter Saturday, was basically the Passion of Christ. The guy that made it, sorry, the main actor, he was basically booted from Hollywood for a very long time. What's his face? Mel Gibson is still not very well liked in Hollywood. So thinking that somebody with the name of Affleck at the end would make a movie that is super duper not mainstream and goes against the grain of all of Hollywood, yeah, no.
Well, I would
Thinking that it goes against Operation Mockingbird.
Yeah, well, let
no.
me counter that with some evidence right now, because in 2023, the ultimate movie came out, mainstream, every theater in America, that went against everything possible in Hollywood. It was called Sound of Freedom, and that was the Jim Caviezel movie as well. And that topic in Sound of Freedom was that was banned. You're not allowed to talk about that on YouTube or any other places prior to that movie coming out. You couldn't even speak of that topic online. They would ban you. And they made a mainstream movie about it. So
that was 2023.
Yeah, Sound of Freedom.
I still haven't seen it. It's now 2026. As I understand, a lot of those files, we all know who we're talking about, are still redacted. Yeah, okay, fine. So the movie comes out. It's going to be as super duper as Sound of Freedom. It's going to be as super duper as The Passion, whatever. It's
Crypto Voyager. Let me just say, if you go to the hashtag Buckle Up Ballard, that entire hashtag shows that Tim Ballard, Jim Caviezel, and Mel are actually all involved in the human trafficking. And that movie was all just a complete psyop. So that right there is proof that they can skew massive movements with a movie.
Yeah. Well, maybe that was a counter operation with the movie.
My point exactly.
Yeah.
My point exactly. Any kind of narrative can be skewed.
Yeah.
And the rabbit hole goes deep. I mean, let's look at Meller. Let's look at Meller. We were all listening to that thing at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were thinking that Craig is going to win because duh, so fucking obvious. And yeah, no. So again, sorry to be a Debbie Downer. I'm cynical. I'm realistic. Unless we get to 8 million transactions per second sustained for a whole year, I don't think we're going anywhere. Just my 2 cents.
Well, let me counter you, Crypto Voyager. We have an economic model in Bitcoin. We have miners that are searching for profit. The moment there's real attention that comes to BSV and starts bringing the coin price up, what's going to happen to the miners? Are they going to stay losing with BTC, or
No,
they're going to hop on to the?
They're going
They're
to
gonna
switch, JPAPs. You're completely
And
correct.
then what happens? And then what happens?
Well,
Tell me.
the price goes up, and we're all happy in this round. And I completely agree with you 100%. Okay, the minute the miner switches, it's over. Okay, BTC will be a thing of the past. Although they will try to spin the narrative for the next 3 or 4 years, but that doesn't matter. But the only way for the miners to switch is for the transaction fees to be so juicy that they're gonna say, I don't give a rat's ass who I'm still have to brown nose or not. Okay, and the only number that actually matters for that's the only number that Craig also says is transactions per second, sustained. Okay, and the transactions per second to do that is several millions. It's not just one, and we are very far from one.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there, but I think it's going to be the machine-to-machine economy that's going to generate all that traffic. It's not going to be me sending you money.
I agree with you on that one too. Okay, so if we now have what's his face, John Calhoun and Rui da Silva creating 2 different X402 protocols, maybe, just maybe, we should have a space where both of them come together with Babbage and with other people and say which protocol we should agree on. That might be more productive than just hoping for a flimsy movie that everybody's going to forget 1 week later. Just saying.
Definitely supporting the guy developers in the space is important. I agree. We should do that. You know,
it's not only supporting them. I'm already thinking that we are living in a sparse graph, and not all of us are together. So, for example, there are actually 3 402 implementations. Yeah, it's John Calhoun, it's Rui da Silva, and there's the third guy that actually made it in Spanish. Yeah.
What? That's why I was confused. I didn't know that. You got 3?
There we go. So first of all, we have to kind of like consolidate on the protocols.
What is 402? What is it even doing?
Show the AIs on the next training run that that's X402 on BSV is way better than, for example, X402 on Coinbase. That's what we should do.
So the one interaction I've had with it so far was last week. I saw a post where the X402 recapped Ty from Babbage's talk. It was about 30 minutes, very complex on a video. It formulated it into a very short, succinct article about what he talked about and all the main points. And it was brilliant. And that's my only interaction. So is that what it does? I mean, Crypto Voyager?
Wait, sorry. What was the question?
What does the 402 do? And that's my only interaction so far with it.
The 402, what it basically does is, okay. So there is a different number on the internet. It's called 429. Now, you as a normal person will not see the 429 that often. You most likely have seen the 404. Yeah, website not found.
404 I've seen, yeah.
Okay, 404 you have seen. Okay. Now there is also one that is called 429, which is basically rate limited. Yeah, you're asking too many questions too often. Stop doing that. Yeah, that's when a server asks another server, hey, I need this information. 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 And the guy says, yo, stop it. Yeah, back off. Now, what 402 does is I need this information. And the guy says, I'm willing to give you that information, but pay for it. Okay, that is basically 402. So 402 in a very very simple way eliminates 429s unless it's hardware. But if you are somebody that wants information and are willing to pay for it, then you would need something like 402 where the server that gives you that information tells you, yes, I'm willing to give it to you at the speed and the rate that you want it, but please pay for it. That's what it is. So if we would ever want AI to AI, machine to machine, there has to be a way for one machine to tell the other machine, I want this information, and for machine B to say, yes, I have this information, I'm willing to give it to you, please pay up. Yeah, the question then that comes up to anybody's mind is, okay, how are they going to pay for it? And you can pay natively with Satoshis, or you can pay with a token, with the token being a stable coin. Okay, fine. That USDC and USDT won't die that fast. That's already a given. USDT is, sadly to say, too big to fail. Not only that, it is like HSBC, too big to jail. Yeah. So
nice. So 402 is Rui da Silva and John Calhoun, and then there's another guy as well.
And Coinbase.
Yeah,
the Coinbase guys want to be an intermediary. Yeah, they see this 402 issue. They see, oh my God, everybody is gonna need this. All these AI to AIs are going to pay. We want to be in on it. Yeah,
they want to get in the middle.
They are the classic intermediary, and they want to have a cut on everything that AI to AI does. Now, John Calhoun and Rui da Silva say, no, this is supposed to be Bitcoin, and no trusted intermediary, la la la. If somebody wants to pay and the other one wants to get paid, then they should use a neutral layer, which would be then, well, any blockchain, but the only blockchain that can actually do it at scale is, well, BSV.
Here's a post you posted, Casey. SGBETT. With BSV X402, you can just click on a link to pay for something. So with X402, you just click on a link to pay for something. No verified by Visa pop-up, no sign-in to your bank, not even any facilitator looking at you at Coinbase. It really shines the spotlight on who is in control of your money. So that's with X402. This is what sovereign money looks like, he says. Wow. This is what Bitcoin was supposed to do. It originally did, and now this is what Bitcoin does. It does it now? Can we see an example?
Well, just for clarification, sorry to interject there, Gavin. So in the 90s, when the internet, well, even before that, but let's just say in the 90s, when the internet was kind of like being protocolized and everything, there was this 402 error message, which was basically payment not found, and then nobody implemented it for the next, well, since forever, because there was nothing like Bitcoin. Okay. Now they're saying X402 because what they want at the end of the day is that the Internet Standards Committee, I can't remember what the name is, the Web3C or whoever decides that, it doesn't matter. that they take on their standard. Yeah, I don't even know if X402 by now is a trademark. Yeah, so Rui da Silva and Calhoun are using the name X402, but that is completely different architecturally from the X402 from Coinbase. And when you just say X402 is the way that you would be saying Bitcoin. Some people will understand Bitcoin as V, some people will, and the majority will understand BTC. Yeah, with X402 by Coinbase, they are, as they say themselves, they are blockchain neutral. So they're willing to take in money from Solana. They're willing to take in payments via Lightning. They're willing to take payments with anything. My idea, just a sidestep, is not only payments. We also have to do receipts. Yeah, there is a reason for that, but John Calhoun already knows why I said it. We have to use the abilities that BSV gives us instead of just Lightning. It's not just paying; it's also receipts and showing everybody that that payment was made.
100%. Got to do that. What's your reasoning?
My reasoning is that you could then afterwards, if you implement that with payments, okay, the payments is the X402. Everybody's is running on it. Okay, if we think a step forward, you would also give out receipts. Yeah, you would sign those receipts. So for example, Gavin, let's say you have something that I want. I'm telling you, hey, I'm willing to pay you. You send me, okay, pay this amount. I paid that amount. And then you give me a service, whatever service you and your server are willing to give me. Now that I got that service, you asked me, hey, yo, can you please give me a rating on how good I did for this exact service? And then I say, okay, fine, yeah, you gave me that service. It cost me that much money. You gave it to me in a few microseconds. I'm going to give you 5-star ratings. And I sign that. And depending on how we implement that, because that's going to be difficult, you have 5-star rating from me, and you can tell then Casey, hey, yo, Casey, if you ever need this kind of service, the one that Voyager wanted, I already have 5-star ratings. So what would Casey do? Casey could go to somebody completely new that she doesn't know, or pay you, or contract you. That is basically the proto routing, a proto market that would ensue. And after lots of iterations, everybody would know Gavin Mehl is the best provider of this specific service.
Could we use fiat for that, or stable?
You can use tokenized
stablecoin
seashells if you wanted to.
Oh,
that's not the issue. The issue is that there has to be a way. That's the interesting part. There has to be a way to show that those 5-star ratings that you have are legitimate. Because otherwise, you could just tell me, hey, yo, ask me 50,000 times for a service and give me 50,000 times 5-star ratings.
Right, fake reviews.
Yeah, fake reviews. But if we actually get that, then Uber. Okay, so the question on everybody's mind is, in the sharing economy, or whatever you want to call it, if you as a driver work for Uber and you get 5,000 5-star ratings, if you then switch to another provider, like for example Didi or whatever car sharing application there is, you start from zero. You cannot take those 5,000 ratings with you. So you're basically locked into Uber. You're locked into Airbnb. You're locked into Amazon. You're locked into eBay.
Yep.
Yeah, but if there would be a way for you to say, this is my identity, these are my ratings, I want to get out of this specific application because they're charging too much. Yeah, whatever, blah, blah, whatever. Yeah, I want to get out. there is no way at the moment to take that out. So what would happen is you have 10,000 servers. All of those servers are living somewhere on some AI database, on some AI data center. And you could say, okay, which one of you guys is the one that can provide what I want? And there wouldn't be an intermediary. I could pay peer-to-peer, well, AI to AI, peer-to-peer, without a middleman. That's what I'm thinking, that maybe the next step evolution of X402 is. However, X402 is not even protocolized yet. So just saying.
It's not protocolized. Okay. I saw John Calhoun's thing did something. It did a recap on the video that Ty made, and it did a blog post about Ty's video. So I thought that was useful. You're saying it's not working yet?
No, it's working. Dude, Gavin, it's working so amazingly that that I just went to ChatGPT and told them, hey, yo, I have this $7 ESP32, and I have this other ESP32, and I want to get to have them talk with each other. Yeah, and they use the blockchain. It's so amazingly simple to use the blockchain as a communication substrate that it is just amazingly. It hurts that we're not there yet. It just hurts because it can be done.
Oh, wow. There's a guy, Casey, I'm going to talk about this. I just saw you text this to me. So yeah, there's a guy called Jordan. Jordan, I don't think what his last name was. I met him in London. This would have been 2024, and I actually think we talked after that as well. We kind of stayed in touch a little bit, and he is like I guess what Crypto Kate called me. She says I'm in a cult or a cult member, cult leader, whatever. He's in the cult in that mindset. He sees Bitcoin, he sees the whole vision, he sees the whole thing, and he is working at it's called AWS, Amazon Web Services. Because I sat down and talked to him for like a couple hours. We really got to spend time with each other when we were in London. It wasn't just, it was really informal. I didn't know anything about him. He came up and talked to me. And he said, he gave a talk at the conference. I'm like, I didn't know anything about it. I hadn't even heard of AWS. I didn't even know what AWS. So I'm like, AWS didn't mean a thing to me, nothing. So I just start talking to the guy. And this is after one of the events. And somebody comes up to me and says, that's so-and-so. And so then I'm like, this guy's really, really important, AWS. And so I thought, okay. And he told me about what they're doing. But he basically was the one that quarterbacked the entire integration with what was called Teranode being built on AWS. Now, Casey, you shared a post here. It says, this is the one from AWS just confirmed 1 million transactions from Crypto Club, right? Crypto Club? It says, and I read this article. This is the one that Jordan wrote. I believe AWS. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Jordan wrote this article, and it says AWS from Jordan Kramsky. Jordan Kramsky, and he's in the Netherlands. He's an American guy living out there in the Netherlands. How the BSV Association built 1 million transactions, 1 million TPS blockchain node using AWS. And that's published on the aws.amazon.com blog. Yeah, it's a big freaking deal. I read through that when it came out, and he goes into all the technicalities of how it actually operated and how they did it. It's an official publication by AWS Amazon on how it works. Pretty cool. I say that's pretty important, pretty big deal. That's not even, it doesn't say enough. That's huge, massive. But, it's all going to $5 according to Crypto Voyager. I think Crypto Voyager just wants everybody to back up he wants to get the price to go down so he can buy more.
I told you I might be just funding my bags.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, if anybody else wants to jump up, Casey, what else you got? Anything else that you wanted to drum? You shared a bunch of other things too. So go ahead and unmute and tell me what you see that I'm not seeing yet. Go ahead.
Just the latest one with BSV that Terranode processes over 600 billion transactions in a week and over 1.3 trillion in 2 weeks. So that was the current system where every user is a network node is not the intended configuration for large scale. That would be like every Usenet user runs their own NNTP server. The design supports letting users just be users. The more burden it is to run a node, the fewer nodes there will be. Those few nodes will be big server farms. The rest will be client nodes that only do transactions and don't generate. Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah.
So very interesting to see all of that. And I mean, it's obvious that players like Amazon would be coming to the table when numbers like that are coming out. So I think we're here.
Get Crypto Voyager to get his bags. He wants everybody to sell, and get the price down so he can buy more. That's his plan.
I was waiting for $5 and it's now going.
It's not happening.
I don't know. We still have.
You got your price orders, your buy orders at 5.
No, not yet. So please, people, please sell.
I think you can place buy orders. I think on Orange Gateway. I think if that's your bet. Yeah, I know you can because I put a bunch of buy orders for things as well. Not for 5. I think that's a pretty bold move. If you're doing that, hey, good for you. You can do it on Orange Gateway. Place your bet. What about the Little Bit? There's stuff on Little Bit right now where they're posting bets on who's going to be in this movie. Is Craig actually going to remember that there was a thing, and it was like a 0% chance that the movie was about Craig, 0% chance it was going to be about Calvin, 0% everything. Well, all of a sudden now Kleiman's in the movie. I bet you the numbers are going up on Little Bit. Little Bit, what is it? Little.bit? What's the website? I never forget the website. It's not little.bit. It's something else. What is the website, Casey? Do you remember? Little Bit.
LILB.it.
LILB.it. Gosh, there we go. Betting casino. You got Phantom. They use Solana now. Oh, they use Solana now over there. That's cool. I really never used the Solana. We looked into it. Daniel had looked into it, and they make you pay 75 cents a transaction just to do anything. You have to have 75 cents. So it doesn't work for micropayments, apparently. If you already have a lot of Solana, it could work.
Don't flood my Solana bags, Gavin.
No?
It doesn't cost 75 cents.
What?
It doesn't cost 75 cents. Solana transactions don't cost 75
not a transaction, but for example, let me ask you this. Because I don't know for my own experience, but from what I've told them and researched and looked into is if I want to go and I don't have any Solana at all, and I just want to make a bet right now for 5 cents on this thing, can I do it in Solana and buy it?
Where do you? Okay. Do you have any money?
I have fiat.
You have cash at hand.
Fiat, yes.
Okay. Well, cash at hand has to be changed for super duper magic internet money. That change from from fiat to magic internet money does cost you. How much does it cost you? That's a different question. There are several different providers that give you a service of changing your fiat to magic internet money. Okay,
right.
But that's not magic internet money's fault.
No.
Now, Solana, once you actually do have Solana, once you do actually have some, what are they called? LAMP ports, I believe. Yeah, once you do have some LAMP ports, that's the Satoshi of Solana. Solana is not that expensive in comparison to other blockchains. Does Solana have issues? Oh, yes, a lot of issues. Does the normal human being notice those issues? Not always. Do the AIs notice those issues? Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah, I just don't like it, huh?
Well, it's not that they don't like it. It's not that they don't like it. But imagine, so how many phones do you have, Gavin?
I don't remember. Oh, 3.
You have 3 phone lines.
Yeah.
Statistically, in the Western world, people have more than one phone.
Yeah.
So my projection that I'm pulling out of my behind is that in the future, not only will everybody have a computer on the desk, like Bill Gates said, not only will everybody have one
4. I have 4.
one phone, but everybody is going to have more than one AI agent. Yeah? So if you have more than one AI agent and there are 7 billion people, let's say you need 20 billion AI agents, and all of those AI agents are going to be talking with each other, you will have a lot of transactions per second.
Yeah, I need to get the OpenClaw built on BSD. I think it was John.
Once you do that, once OpenClaw is so easy that even you can do it, you're gonna have 2 OpenClaws. But even just having 2 of them means that one is going to have to talk with the other one. Yeah, so that's already one conversation. Having those many AI agents and all talking with each other and all wanting to have a kind of like a traceability that they talked with each other, that they learned something new, that they paid for something, whatever kind of interaction, basically means that you need a trusted substrate. Now, it's not true that Bitcoin removes the trusted intermediary. It is true that Bitcoin is the trusted intermediary. Okay, fine, whatever. The blockchain is the trusted intermediary. And what Solana has a problem is that it has to have the state of the world across the whole ecosystem. And to propagate that state of the world across the whole ecosystem, that takes time, and that is the reason why there is a scaling ceiling in Solana. Architecturally, there is a scaling ceiling that cannot be removed because that's the way that it works.
That's why it crashed whenever there's a lot of traffic, like Trump or those types.
I'm not so sure that is why it crashed. I'm not that good into Solana, but yeah, it sometimes crashes. That's one. So suddenly the whole world economy goes into a
it shuts down the whole thing, huh?
Into a freeze.
It's kind of not good. You don't want the whole network shutting down.
No, you don't want to have that. You don't want to have that, exactly. And not only that, if there is a high spike demand, then suddenly it doesn't work. Or it tells you, well, I'm still working, but you're going to have to pay through your nose.
That's what sent me down the rabbit hole of where I got here. Is that happened to me with Ethereum? The Ethereum
and the same thing happens with Solana, although maybe one order of magnitude higher. Yeah,
I only needed to be burned once on Ethereum like that, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm done."
Well, yeah. I'm just saying that if something happens, if something comes down Solana pipeline that says we are one order of magnitude more amazing than CryptoKitties, then you have the CryptoKitties incident on Solana. We saw that. We have all been witness to it. The second that Trump coin came out. Yeah, Trump came out, and Solana basically just choked. Well,
so let me jump in here. The Killing Satoshi. This is on lilb.it. Is Killing Satoshi about Craig? Then it says bet yes, 59%, no is 40%. So you could bet right there, and you could find out if he's going to be about him or not. And then there's another one also here, a bet about Calvin Ayre. It says, will Pete Davidson play Calvin Ayre in Killing Satoshi? Yes, 25%. When I saw it the other day, it was like 0. Now it's at 75% no. So everybody still is pretty much saying no chance, for the most part. It's not going to happen. Now let me see if there's any other bets about this movie yet, or Kleiman's coming out. This Kleiman thing, if this will raise the odds, because the whole thing with Kleiman, okay, you're a doomsday guy, Crypto Voyager. You always talk about the doomsday, end of the world, everybody sell. What's the spin on this with Kleiman? What could be the spin? How come he's in this movie? What's the spin on this?
Okay, so talking about talking. Okay, Gavin. Here's a good one for you. Pete Davidson has a friend, yeah, and tells the friend, "Hey, yo, I'm in this movie and I'm playing this character, and I already said all my lines. Unless the guy in editing cuts everything off, this is what's gonna happen in the movie." Oh, by the way, there is this site called Little Bit, and they're betting that something is gonna happen, and I already know what's gonna happen. So here's $50,000. Please bet on the sure bet. Yeah. Bets of that kind are basically prone to be leveraged by insiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody in that movie that already saw that whole movie, that already read the whole script, can bet the sure bet. Just saying. Okay, that's one. That's one. Now, Dave Kleiman, there is still one thing out of this whole Satoshi saga, out of everything, everything, the last 10 years, that I can't wrap my head around. And it's basically one single hash number. Yeah, it's a certain block that was mined on, well, actually, we're nearing the date on the 26th of April, 2014, if I'm not mistaken. And it says IDED IB2. Oh, sorry, it is the leading zeros, 1 DEAD, 1 B2, and then some other random numbers. Now, that by itself might not mean anything, but it was made exactly to the date on Dave Kleiman's official death date. Yeah, Dave Kleiman, according to the autopsy report, which is online, died on the 26th of April, which is basically, I believe, the day that he was found. So he most likely died a few days before, but whatever. And that message came out exactly 1 year later. Now we know that, well, we don't know, but we suspect that nobody knew that he died. And then he died, and then the autopsy report came in, and then somebody else found out that he died, and then he made a YouTube tribute, an obituary, saying that he was his good friend and all that other stuff.
That was 20. Okay, you know, just to cross-reference your dates, you're pretty accurate. It was the 26th of April, 2013 that Kleiman died.
Yes.
And then Craig had made that video. It had to have been right around that time.
Yes.
Where he said, my friend died.
Afterwards, when he found out that he died.
Right.
Right. And then 1 year, exactly 1 year to the date, after the 26th of April, there is a message. It's not a message. It is completely random. It is plausible deniability, if you want to talk spy parlance. And the block hash says IDED IB2. The chances of
dead.
Yeah, one. Okay, so you have the leading zeros of the block hash.
Yeah.
And then you have 1 DEAD, 1 B2. Yeah, so those are 8 characters. You could say they're random. It's plausible deniability all the way down that it's random, but it is that. Yeah, which you could kind of like translate in lead speak to IDED IB2. So if Craig says, well, actually, I did have some help, and Dave Kleiman was basically the one that helped me, that is the most beautiful way of saying thank you. I mean, it makes me emotional, actually. The issue is that should not be possible. Mathematically, it should not be possible to do that. You cannot write a non-random thing on the block hash, because the whole idea of the block hash is that everybody is mining and spending whatever amount of capital you want to put in just to have those leading zeros. And then to say, I have those leading zeros plus, on top of that, 8 non-random characters, that breaks any kind of understanding of how Bitcoin works. I don't know. Nobody has answered me that question. I asked Craig once that question, and he blocked me afterwards.
Oh, shit. He blocked you?
Well, somebody else came in and fucking trolled, and then he blocked everybody in that conversation, which was me too.
Right.
Yeah. I got what's it called? What's it called in American? Collateral damaged.
Collateral damage.
Yeah. So yeah.
Dude, that's
but
really,
that's one that I don't
I always
understand.
wondered that because you'll see these block hashes with the graffiti on the blockchain every so often, and it's this random thing. But in this case, you'll see one DEAD, one B2, and it's then the date was 26 April on the block hash, or is that the date? Oh, that's the date of the transaction. I see. So you're
no, Gavin, no. It is not a transaction. So okay, you can make a transaction, Gavin, yeah, and you can say I'm going to send it to Satoshi's Genesis address, yeah. And then afterwards, you see, hey, look, Satoshi's Genesis address doesn't have 50 Bitcoins. It actually has something like 60. Why does it have 60? Because some other people just gave Satoshi some tribute money. Okay, fine, you can do that. Yeah. You can send some money to an address that is called Bitcoin Ether do not send. Yeah. It is a completely valid Bitcoin address. And if you send money to that address, nobody can do anything against it. It goes to that thing. Okay, perfect. Is it on the curve? That's a completely different question. Okay, but that's possible. All of those things are possible. Everybody has done it. Blah 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 blah. What you cannot say in advance is what will be the nonce of this block, so that the block hash will have those characters in that order. That is not possible according to any kind of mathematics that governs cryptography. Wow. It's not.
So
it just
it's some divine unexplained miracle of some kind that happened that way. It's unexplained. Unexplained.
It's a backdoor, or it's a backdoor Satoshi knows there is.
Or Satoshi knows a backdoor.
Well, the issue is that if you know which leading zero, if you know the nonce in advance, then there is no point of having proof of work.
Right.
The only thing that
I could comment on that, but I can't. I know some information, but I can't comment. But this is really a fascinating story about what you're saying here. I think it's a brilliant piece to the puzzle. About the Kleiman.
Well, yeah, it's the one puzzle that I haven't heard anybody mention anything that actually makes sense. Nobody.
But you're saying in your thesis, it's a beautiful kind of a romantic, makes you emotional that it happened that way. It was like a tribute to Kleiman, is what it was.
Yes,
tribute to
but
Kleiman.
not only that. The question is, how the hell did he do it?
Well, we don't. We will probably never know, but we know that it was.
So Gavin, how many Bitcoins does a miner get right now per block?
Was it six? I'm not sure.
3.125.
3.25, yeah.
Okay. So for you to be able to write a block hash, you have to know what the nonce will be of the next block. If I know what the nonce of the next block will be that satisfies the rules, which basically means all zeros, I could make 3.125 BTC every 10 minutes. And nobody can stop me. Unless I don't understand how this works. I would love to talk with Craig about that. But every time I see an interview with Craig, which comes maybe once a year, nobody asks. And that is, Gavin, if you ever go into an interview with Craig, don't ask him simple questions. Just telling you that from experience, seeing so many interviews with Craig, don't ask him simple questions. Ask him the hard ones, please.
I would love. This is a really good one. I'd like to write that one down. That would be a badass question to ask and get a freaking high level answer on for the record. Now, I think he's under that gag order we know, and I looked into it until I think it's November or December coming up. So I don't expect to hear much from him. But he did the thing with what's his name? That Ian guy, the Scottish guy. That show with him. So I don't know. Seems to be able to talk.
Gavin, you really liked it when I said that when my troll was that in December for Christmas, Craig can say again that he's Satoshi.
I thought that was so funny. Dude. That was hilarious. He's out there trolling everybody again. I'm Satoshi, you guys. This is it. It's on. Let's go to battle. He calls up Calvin and they start just going to town, you know. Where'd Jaker Hansen at? We want revenge. Yeah, that's freaking badass. Casey, let's wind down. I want to see what else we got. We got Griffin Voyager, Casey, Nicole, Dolfo, J Paps, and anybody else in the crowd that wants to come up and say some closing thoughts. We'll wind this freaking down. It's Saturday, Easter. I see the man himself is on there, and you know this is a cult, I guess, and I'm in it. So whatever. Casey, last closing thoughts. Casey, Nicole, when are you going to dye your hair?
You guys didn't see that I shaved my head a long time ago.
Shaved your
I
head,
didn't
right?
have to do it again. I didn't want to dye it ever again. I'm starting to
I
feel
thought
like
that
I
was a
might.
rebellion. You were rebelling because you were.
No, I was just done putting chemicals on my head every 3 weeks.
So you want to do that again? No?
Nope, I probably won't. I'm just gonna rock the grays and let people deal with it. I don't really care. So, but anyways, this is amazing. I look forward to the watch party. Hopefully, we get to do that in person somehow, some way. And you guys have a great week. Talk soon.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, we really want to launch. I want to launch a tokenized. I want to launch something with a freaking token, like not a token, but I wanted to use BSV as the token. It doesn't seem like there's a way to do it, but I wanted to have everybody buy shares in this thing. You buy shares and you own it. That would be really, and then with that, we fund all this, right? There's so many little ideas that we could do. I think I'm going to run with one of these, and the other thing is like a membership association on the side, something like that, where maybe it's the MetaNet Academy or something cool we could do. I'm thinking about opening up my Saturday mornings for that. So I have a Saturday like 8:30 spot that I'm thinking about opening up for that. So I'll throw it out there. Dolfo, closing thoughts.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited about the drama. I hope the film is dramatic. I hope it gets people, by their emotions because, yeah, as a sales guy, that's the way I sell. I sell by emotions. That's what people buy. They buy because of the emotions. And so I hope it's dramatic. I hope that Kleiman's role in the movie is something that's interesting, that gives people something to talk about and something to chew on. I'm with Casey. I'm looking forward to getting together with you guys for this. Definitely like to meet up with you guys and get a small group of BSBers to go to that premiere or whatever. That would be awesome.
You never told me, how you found this group of cult members. You never even told me that, dude. How did you find it? How did you figure it out? Because I met you in Bend, Oregon, at the Project Babbage hackathon.
Yep, that's right. I found it just by looking into Satoshi Nakamoto and finding Craig Wright, and that happened to be right before the COPA trial, and that was, for me, that was super dramatic. The lead up to that trial. I mean, if I recall, the price of BSV jumped from like 50. The day I discovered it, it was $50. I was at my mother-in-law's house, which that's where I'm at today, getting ready for Easter. At the time, it was Christmas, and I found BSV. I wanted to buy some, but I couldn't buy it till I got back home. And by the time I got back home, it had doubled up from 50 to 100. So that also gets me excited because it shows me how quickly I mean, we're at
Oh, it
$16 today, you know?
Well, when it runs, it will run so fast. That's the weird thing about it. It's not like any other asset. Like it's not like anything else. It will run. That's why what the Great Bitcoin Flipping is all about. It will literally flip overnight. I know that's the long term thing, and I'm just saying, but that's just how it's going to go. But
Yeah.
even just when it runs because they're such a small market cap, and when whales get involved and the miners start moving, it moves so damn fast that like you said, you're like, oh, I just wanted one more day. One more day is all I needed after Easter, I promise. But it was too late.
That's right.
Not
That's
financial
exactly right.
I just
And
advice.
encourage people to just get one, and that way, I have a couple friends. I always try to send them one or whatever. I'll give them one or text them one. I like using that text thing, that the text money thing. Like I have friends, like I'll just like, dude, just have one. Forget about it, dude. Like that's it. I mean, don't ever buy it. You don't just at least let me give you something. Let me, like I do that to people all the time. I want to keep doing it more. Just text it to them, and hopefully they can get it. It'll be on their phone. They won't lose the text message, right? I mean, it's a good little gift. I love doing that.
yeah, it's a great way to spread the love, spread the joy, and Gavin, I want to say thank you to you as well for this whole great Bitcoin flippening and these kind of conversations like this because it's this kind of speculation, like you said, everybody has a bit of degen in them, and it's this kind of speculation, and when especially when the movie's not out yet, but we get the opportunity to speculate about what might be in it, and that may really annoy some BTCers or scare the shit out of them or make them, make their ears perk up. And so I just appreciate, like I said, the conversation and just keeping the narrative and the BSV community, giving us something to chew on. So thanks.
I mean, it's so easy right now to get like completely demoralized if there wasn't something. I mean, I would I mean, I can imagine. So hey, that's my role. I could be whatever. I could just do my thing. 'Cause I'm gonna do it anyways. I might as well add value on that. Yeah, my pleasure, man. Happy to do it. So let's freaking rock it. We'll go right to the top, and I'm gonna go to Crypto Kate as well and see what the freak you're up to. I'm trying to convince Casey Nicole to dye her hair, and she won't do it. She says, "I don't want to dye my hair. I want to cut it off." I'm like, Casey, live a little. This is 2026. Women dye their hair. I put. What do I put the sun in my hair. It's a yellow thing. It's like lemon or whatever, and it will turn my hair more blonde in the summer. I do that, and it's not dye, but it turns my hair more blonde. It does, and you go in the sun, and it does that stuff. Anyways, Crypto Kate, talk to me.
Yeah, so I've had like such a crazy 2 weeks in BSV, just like going nuts on, well, what are we doing here? And you know, I looked at some of the stuff has been that has caused a lot of hope on BSV in the past couple of years, just like going back in history. And I looked at where we are today. And I was like, why did none of this work out? Why did none of this work out? Well, I mean, a lot of people are like, well, the protocol it's not complete. And now we're on the verge of that. And we have Terranode, which I've been excited about since I heard about it. But on day two, I think you remember this, Gavin and Casey. Like, I came into the chat and I was like, well, I'm looking at the evidence here. I would say all signs point to it probably it being Satoshi, being Craig, and speaking with Craig. I think he has the Constitution. Uh, it's just the court that one court case. I feel like he threw it, didn't make sense. But I came in and I was like, wait, if you got this case, this amazing story, why hasn't anyone made like started scripting not a doc, because people don't watch documentaries like they do, like some people do, but they would love like a dramatic movie with, and if you could get them like good actors. I didn't even say that part. I wasn't thinking BSV would be spending $90 million on a movie. And someone asked me really early, like, how much would a movie like this cost? And I was like about $100 million. And I got a lot of lashback for promoting the movie early on. And now we're seeing more and more coming out that clearly this movie is gonna be raising a lot of interest in this blockchain. Another thing and it's just kind of like uh, I see a trifecta of power coming into emergence where we have Terranode, we have Chronicle, and we have this movie coming out. And then there's just this final thing, which is what is, if you look back at the history, what was the best thing that looked really good for BSV before that trial, that damn trial, seems ridiculous to me. I don't know what happened there. I think Craig was just like, screw this, and like I could do it anyway. I'm not answering your questions. That's my opinion. And I think he's gonna do it anyway, and this community is gonna do it anyway. And I was really negative about this last week. I started thinking like the BSVA is up to something. And I was like, I'm just going to throw some accusations out there and be like, why aren't you guys putting any money into marketing and PR? And everyone got mad about that and said, no, you don't understand. You have to build this. And I'm at the point, I agree. I agree. But it's like, I don't even have to worry about that because we're past that. My biggest concern was that people couldn't build on BSV because there was like a centralized source of control saying yay or nay to every project. But then I think Connor Murray put out a really good statement, and he said once Chronicle is complete, that confirms that anyone can build on it. So I'm not so concerned. I'm not concerned about the BSVA anymore. I think they've done a good job. But what is that like use case that was almost worked in the past that is possible now? And that's definitely going to be the tokenization of real world assets. Um, and it's like it's not a state secret, okay, if you've been following this for a long time, what those proposals have been. There's just been
Mhm.
issues with S script.
Yeah,
So
smart
now that we
contract
have,
language.
yeah, now that we have, now that I'm trusting the BSVA again.
Well, I wouldn't trust them. You don't need to trust them.
I'm keeping my eye on them, but I'm saying this. I feel like issues about centralized control. Who knows? Who knows if they come up again? I feel pretty good about it, and everyone knows I'm the biggest cynic. I went nuts about it. Everybody yelled at me. I don't care. But I'm actually I'm optimistic about the Runar project
Runar.
that Dagan and Siggy have been tweeting about.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that's going to be open source. So if you combine this movie and there's any mention of Craig at all, right? And if Dave Kleiman's in it, it's like, how are you not
Well,
going to mention
well,
Craig? I
what's
don't
the
know.
spin? If Kleiman's in it, what's the
Yeah.
spin? I mean, I've been proposing this on this whole call. Like
Yeah.
anybody
Yeah.
challenge me on the spin. What's the spin? Kleiman's in the movie. That's official. His agent published that on IMBD. They don't just do that for fun and troll. That's his agent that put that. Okay, that actor. What's the spin?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kleiman.
And
No.
is that I guess one question would be, is that his brothers? Is that someone hired by his brother?
No. Alan Mezida, Mehdizadea, the one playing Kleiman. He's an actor. He's in a lot of big movies. He's born in Sussex, New Jersey, and he's playing Kleiman. So when you're an actor like this, your agent puts you on the IMDb site for the movie that you're in and says he's playing this guy in the movie. And not
Right.
each one of these actors' agents did that. Some did, some didn't, some haven't yet. Maybe they're under contract not to, we don't know. But this actor's agent did.
I mean, if I don't see how they could cut out him conversing with Craig, or sorry, conversing with Satoshi when we have those emails. And we know, I'm pretty sure we have evidence that that Craig and Dave were friends outside of this project. They met in real life, I think 2 times.
Yeah. Well, they
Yeah,
did W
right?
and W. W and W was a defense contracting company. Rodolfo, we were talking about this earlier. They were taking defense contracts. Craig needed a guy in the U.S., U.S. citizen, and also like a military guy, and that was Kleiman. So they were getting government contracts. This is way in the
They
early
were
days
Right.
also best
before Bitcoin.
friends.
What was that?
They were also best friends.
And they're best
Yeah,
friends. Yeah.
right.
I mean, that was
So,
Craig's best friend, and he released a video. I think it was Kleiman died in 2013, so it would have been shortly thereafter that the early video of Craig, very emotional. It almost looks fake, like a staged video. How upset he was because I didn't know who Craig was when I watched that. I was like, "What's this all about? Why is this guy so emotional?" It
yeah,
looks.
no, I mean, people were, and Gavin, you remember this, like, and Dan, you remember this, because we were like, us three were like, this movie looking pretty positive for BSV, and everyone kept saying, you can't talk about the movie. Like, no movie is gonna do anything. Well, I
Well,
mean,
the movie is
I think
everything. It's the
this,
marketing angle. So
I
here's the
absolutely,
difference, Kate. It's like
yeah.
I'm
all
not
these smart
convinced
people
it'll.
are all very super highly intelligent, and they're really experts in the plumbing and the protocol. And I'm with you. Those are like the most important people in the space. But then you have the people like me, and I would consider you out there as like, well, I don't understand the tech. I'm not ever going to understand the tech. I'll do my best. I just never will. My brain cannot handle it. But I can do marketing. I can do marketing. And so that's where this is coming in because people are going to be attracted to it. And you know what they're going to see? And I talked about it yesterday in a private, in another forum. They're going to hear about the Great Bitcoin Flippening. Why? Because they want to freaking know, dude. What do you mean flippening? You're going to flip BTC? Yeah, this movie's going to flip BTC. That's exactly
I'm
where it's
not.
going.
I'm not convinced it'll ever be released.
Maybe, yeah, yeah, maybe somebody will get sued
Why, Zach?
and it could get dropped. I mean, hey, we want to think worst case scenario. If it doesn't get released, that's fine. I got two alternate things going that I think are gonna be good. If it's delayed a little bit, I'm okay with that too. Um, I did. Yeah, I had the big
My
meeting.
guess is
Yeah, go ahead.
My guess is, I think Zach should expand on that because he's always been like, no movie. And there's like, the most technical people are like, shut up about the movie. But one thing is, so my prediction with the movie, I was like, if it's okay, if they're really trying to do this huge marketing play, which would be like the biggest marketing move in crypto ever by a lot, because no one really, other than us, talks about it or Bitcoin, it would be to do a movie like this. But unless they have all their legal ducks in a row and they're like already filming it, there's gonna be blocks. Like, I always compare it to, like, so this Michael movie, the Michael Jackson biopic, it's the most expensive biopic of all time. They've got like the producer from Bohemian Rhapsody. They got all the best biopic people on this that have won Academy Awards. And I mean, we know the talent that they have on board, but I was like, they better start filming fast. They better move fast, or it's not coming out till 2027 or 2028. But now they're saying it's in post production. So I'm starting to believe more in the movie. I think adding the Dave Kleiman casting makes it more convincing. I
Yeah.
think the Matthew Baloney article on Puck was like kind of mind blowing. I don't think, like, if I
How
was
credible
a
is that?
lawyer and yeah, I mean, if I was a lawyer and a Hollywood insider and staking my reputation on that, my credentials and my reputation, I wouldn't have written that, and I definitely wouldn't have kept it up, right? And it's still up, and it's behind a paywall, which is where all the good information
Are
is.
you
So I think when
serious?
I saw that, yeah, and
So Puck
when I
News
saw
was
that,
written. Puck News is a lawyer. The guy who wrote that, and he's got it behind a
yeah,
paywall.
he's an attorney. Yeah, Puck. I was like, what is this publication? I think we all did. But what it is, from like my observation, is it's a legitimate publication where they have industry experts who cover different news beats, right? So this guy is an attorney and a Hollywood insider, right? And he writes this article and he says it's about Craig and it's being funded by Calvin, and you know, and he's being sarcastic, kind of snarky. You know, it's a crypto bros redemption film. But to me, I was like, this isn't fake news, because I wouldn't stake my reputation on it at least happening. But now that I've seen that, now knowing it's in post, they got it, that it's like kind of like they did it really fast. And actually, I think that the fact they're using AI is really cool and was probably the future of film production. People might be mad about that in the film industry, but it's happening everywhere. So I think it's looking really good for this, either just being straight up about Craig. Now, if it's not about Craig, there's the alternative option, which is what happened in the Michael movie that's coming out at the end of this month, where they try to make it right. They try to make it. They originally marketed it as it's going to be the biggest biopic of all time, and it's going to be, we're going to tell everything. We're going to talk about the legal claims against him. We're going to talk about the evidence. There really wasn't any there. That's my opinion. I looked way deep into that one. And then that movie got stalled for 2 years. It was supposed to come out 2 years ago because legal issues came up. Like, for example, one of the kids who the kid who he settled with, the first accusation, and his father initiated that. The kid wound up later retracting it, actually, believe it or not. You can look it up and read that. But there was something in that agreement where Michael's on the other side of the world doing this tour, where he had already pledged all the proceeds to charity. He wasn't going to quit the tour. He didn't want to do the 7-year civil suit. He just settled it. But so they couldn't look at that aspect, I believe, was what blocked that movie from. They had to do a script rewrite. So they had to do 2 script rewrites because there were things they wanted to talk about, and a lot of them were like, legal accusations and legal stuff. They had to do script rewrites, but that's still coming out at the end of the month, and it's still going to be a great movie. And I don't know, but in this case, I haven't heard anything about anyone challenging a script rewrite, and it's in post. Like, they didn't finish writing that. They didn't finish filming. I even think they started filming. Actually, no, they started filming the Michael movie,
October.
and then there was a legal challenge. They had to change the script. So in this case, seems like they got. If you compare them, seems like they got this script through. Now, if someone tries to block it, like, there's ways around that. So I was afraid it was going to get blocked for a year or more, but it sounds like they're moving really fast on it.
I'm thinking
I think that's positive.
is it possible? There's no possibility it could come out this year, though, right? It's got to be at least another 2027.
I originally thought so. I kept saying, 2027, 2027. But the way they're moving on it, and the fact that they have chosen to, like, it seems like they shot it. When did they start shooting it?
October.
Okay, so they started shooting it in October and they wrapped in March. They decided to use AI for all the backgrounds, but not the acting. And, like, of course, people are going to dispute that, but I don't think these actors would agree to, like, them looking bad with AI. So I think they, like, found a way to do it as fast as they could and push it through. So I was thinking 2027. No way it gets out in 2026. But if it's already in post, maybe maybe later this year. I haven't seen any. I mean, so if you can be challenged on a script for, like, the Michael biopic, when it's in production, right? Like, why hasn't this script been challenged? Or, sorry, while it was shooting, why hasn't the script been challenged while it was shooting, or now that it's in post? There are no challenges. I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's okay. I can look into that. I didn't even consider that because the timing of the release is important to me. I need to. It's an important date. I need to know. So I'll look into the legal challenges that are available on this.
You should look at it. But Zach, why are you so no on the movie?
Because
I don't know what he's saying. Yeah, there we go.
The BTC
You're a technical
people
person.
have ways of shutting shit down. Every time we tried to go to Reddit or a million different things, they shut it down.
Right. Well, there was that great thing that Handcash released back in the day. They shut that down. That was the man. What was the payment processor? And then they something. Yeah. No, you're right. There's always something that gets shut down.
Yeah.
Every time. So no, I mean, history tells us it always gets shut down right before or right at. That's what his history has told us. I would agree. So, is this going to be different?
I just can't imagine making so like Reddit's one thing, and we've seen people smear the actors on Reddit and other people in our community. I got smeared on Reddit. I get smeared here. I don't care. I mean, I kind of care, but
Well,
I can't imagine a 90 to $100 million investment on something that's going to get shut down, which is why I said I
did
think they would
they?
have they had planned for that.
Kate, sorry to watch it. I had my hand
Oh,
up,
Oh, I didn't
think
see you.
it's-
Your hand was up. Go ahead. I thought
okay.
that was from before.
So first of all, Zach, it's amazing to hear you again. I haven't heard you in
Thank
a
you.
long time. I'm very, very happy that you are recovering very well. I truly am. That's one. And you are
Thank you.
completely correct. That's two. Second, Kate, this technology is not anything to do with peanut money like $90 million. $90 million is peanuts. Just to be very, 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 very frank on what this is. $90 million in comparison is peanuts. Craig got slapped with having to pay $120 million and he laughed it off. And right now, looking at the price of BTC times 1.1 million of them, we all understand why he laughed it off. So thinking that, oh no, they're not going to do it because of $90 million and it's too much money down the drain, that's peanuts in comparison to what Bitcoin actually is.
I understand that, but here, my point is if you're gonna so you make a movie, there's A-list talent, and then it gets shut down. So even if it gets shut down, it's like now we have this. Well, why did this movie get shut down? And then that kind of like that catapults BSV back into the conversation. I think that would be extremely suspicious. And I think there's someone, if there are reporters like Matthew Baloney, he reported that, and he would probably do a follow-up report on why it got blocked. Yeah, they could pay him off or something, but enough people have heard about this movie and would have questions about why it was being blocked that I think it would still be good for BSV, and I don't want them to waste 90 to 100 million, but they thought it was worth the risk, I think, whether it gets blocked or not, to go ahead and do it to draw attention to the chain. But that can't be the only marketing. That can't be the only marketing.
I'm going to be another one
Oh,
with my
here's the
aluminum foil
here it
hat.
is.
And
Back up
we
the
all
truck.
saw 25 years ago 3 towers collapse with just 2 planes. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
so
it was a
whatever
bad thing, but
narrative is
maybe
not
it's a good
supposed to
thing.
surface will not surface.
So you're saying you want $5. I know you've been praying for the $5 for this whole call. All you do is say $5. That's what you keep saying, Crypto Voyager.
I'm spinning my yarn very well.
I get it. He has buy orders. He has buy orders on Orange Gateway for $5, and that's why he keeps doing this. And that's okay. I get it, dude. Good for you, bro. I don't think it's gonna go to 5, but you got your bets in. Good for you.
Yeah, I used to feel like, okay, let me just listen to the $5 crowd. But I no longer feel that way. Like my opinion keeps changing, but for I think good informed reasons. Movie gets blocked or not, it's still good for BSV. The tech amazing for BSV, but what we need is that really amazing case A, I'll call it, use case that is also publicized. And but
Yeah.
then on top of that, and this has been something that's been coming up in the community, I've been bitching about a lot about it, and other people have been talking about it too, is there's going to need to be marketing and PR even after Chronicle. And even if when we get that first use case, which like I'm not trying to be cynical here. This is just like it's like a 3-part process. First, the technology is in place, then we get some really great use case, and then there needs to be marketing and PR and legitimacy restored to the chain, and that's what pulls in, investor attention. So, I mean, if we could pull that off, that's perfect. And we don't even need the movie for that. We just need the tech in place, a use case that can make some headlines or gets people interested. Well, even if it doesn't make headlines, people are going to hear about it because they go to crypto Twitter for alpha, and that would create interest around the chain. But again, without PR and marketing, a great use case could go nowhere. So I'll let someone
Well,
else
I'll tell
speak.
you, one sign is that the threads on the Finding Satoshi thread are getting hardly any views, and mostly it's BSV people on there. And the one I had last weekend about this movie was over 10,000 between YouTube and X, just on the reach on it. So I mean, it's clearly people are interested; they want to know more, and it's getting out there, even for a small little tiny BSV.
I was skeptical until I saw the Matthew Baloney article, and then I was like, no, they're actually doing this because they're going to try to do it. Does it get put out? I don't know. Does it get watered down like that Michael movie is? Maybe, but I'll take watered down. I'll take any. I would take any finding or Killing Satoshi movie where the BTC people aren't the clear heroes, because then
So
it gets
Yeah,
what
people
exactly.
what
googling.
what hashtag are we gonna start if it's not the truth, guys? Like the buckle up Ballard one
Yeah,
for Sound of Freedom? Like we
I
have to
asked
start
Casey.
one
I
that
asked
tries to get the
AI.
truth out. Yeah.
There's like, if you guys ask Grok or ChatGPT, like how do we make the movie blow up? There's like a clear
Yeah.
strategy on how to do it, and it starts probably with promotional photos, and especially the trailer, where you start speculating, and then when it does come out, there need to be a lot of what they got wrong videos,
Well,
and
yeah,
what they got right, what they
we
got
have
right, and
to
what they
we
got
have to
wrong.
get on the inside of the launch party, which will be in Hollywood, and that's really the big thing, because that's the big blow up. When it happens, that's it. We got to, I got to be there, and everybody should be going there, and all those stars are going to be there. Calvin has to be there, because this movie is not about Craig; it's about Calvin. All right, I'm telling you right now, he's the star. He is the star. All right,
Yeah,
he
and I
is
would.
the star.
I just think. I think. I don't know. Like, so the coin has gone down in price so much that maybe people would doubt this, but I think I feel like he knows how to get a movie out there. I don't know. I think this is his thing, like great entertainment. He knows how to do it. He has so many connections in that industry. And also casting Pete Davidson as himself
Well, I'll
is
tell
a
you right
really
now,
good
Calvin
idea.
Air is not, he has nothing to do with the script,
The
with
casting.
well, no, because the Pete Davidson wouldn't be his ideal pick. He
Oh,
wouldn't,
really?
well, while we
I'd
may
take
think it's
him.
accurate and funny, it doesn't necessarily do, I mean, yeah.
I think I would love to see personally, and I think a lot of Americans agree outside of outside of the echo chamber. I would love to see Pete Davidson take on a dramatic role, like a
Yeah.
serious dramatic role. And I think he's doing this to make a point about his acting skills. And I don't like, he doesn't, someone was telling me like he's doing it for the money. I'm like, I'm sure he's pretty good. Like he can select from scripts. So I personally, and I think a lot of people are fans of Pete Davidson, and a lot of people want to see him do some more dramatic acting. And I would like to see that, even if I didn't give a damn about Bitcoin or crypto or anything like that. Like, really, Pete Davidson's
Well,
going to
you
do
figure
this
like
Bitcoin movie? What? I
see,
would want to watch that.
well, you figure Calvin is he's like the life of the party. He's the social guy. He's the one everyone loves. He the one everyone wants to be around. Craig's more of the awkward behind the scenes. He does not want to be in the spotlight. He's always said that, you know? And
Yeah,
so when
right.
it comes down to things and something like this, yeah, if it's dramatic, if it's like life of the party, that's going to be that character. You know, that's what this is going to be around. And then he's also the titan of, I mean, he's the savior of Bitcoin. He's the titan of blockchain. He's the one that, you know, literally saved the day, never quit, never gave up. Like the biggest mining operation ever in history. You know, the absolute massive never give up attitude. Never.
I think it's good casting for him. That's what I'll
Well,
say.
it is. I agree. It's not bad, but I mean, I don't know enough about Pete Davidson, but is he into drugs or whatever? I think that's the only.
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
He did
He's
the
got
one.
clean.
What?
Yeah. No, he
He's
like
got
got into.
clean.
Oh,
He's been vocal about issues with depression and stuff like that, and did like a movie just talking about
I
when
think
you're
that's the
down in
only
life and
issue that Calvin would have,
got
and
some
I'm not
acclaim for
speaking for him
that.
in any way, but I'm saying if I were, if
Yeah,
he would
but he
have,
got
would be
some
like
acclaim.
he
He
might
got
have
some
been on drugs in
acting
the
shot.
past, and
Like
that isn't a good look. So, because Calvin's
no,
not into that, at all.
no. Pete Davidson is such a like. If you wanted someone who like no one's going to like diss in Hollywood and be on their side, I would probably pick Pete Davidson. And if he does choose to play Calvin, he's not gonna like trash him. And I would think a lot of celebrities would endorse Pete Davidson's choice. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it looks good for the movie, and I think there's something about it where I originally didn't see it going this way, but now I'm like they're moving fast on it. This is way
Here,
faster than
Yeah,
your
here's
average
the Puck
production.
News, the quote. It says Bitcoin Bros reclamation movie. Pete Davidson and Casey Affleck are about to start shooting an indie film. Now, the indie film kind of has me a little worried. That word indie film. I don't know. That seems like small budget. Nobody watches. Put it to the side. That right there is a little bit of a diss. Killing Satoshi, about this search for the mysterious creator of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency, but amusingly not mentioned in the announcement of the project, which is being directed by Doug Lehman and produced by Lawrence Gray, Jared Underwood, and the disgraced Relatively Media founder turned crypto enthusiast Ryan Kavanaugh is the subject and also the financier. Calvin Ayre, the crypto and gambling mogul, played by Davidson, is putting up a big chunk of the film's budget. I'm told. Ayre is a longtime associate of Craig Wright, played by Affleck, the computer scientist who has claimed falsely, repeatedly, according to British courts, to be Satoshi Nakamoto, the mythological creator of Bitcoin. Why would Ayre, who has his own checkered history, help pay for a movie on this subject? Well, a rep of the film declined to comment, but the star-studded project may serve as the perfect reputation reclamation project for Wright, who's committed forgery on grand scale and claiming to be Satoshi according to the UK ruling. Wright said he will appeal. So this would have come out in, he must have written this article like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Who, Matthew Baloney?
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
at least
that
because,
article came out on September 18th.
no. Well, I don't think so because we know that the script was on Calvin's desk in 2022. That's because of
Yeah,
the,
but
so
I'll look through my photos
here's
verify
why I can tell you that's not true, because just in
why.
reading, well, if you read the
I mean,
text of
it
the,
was dated.
now you may have that on the internet, right? But when he wrote this article 2 years ago or so, because the appeal was 2024. The ruling came
Oh, I see what
down
you're saying.
in summer 2024, and right here he says Wright has said he will appeal. Well, Wright did appeal and he lost.
Ah, okay.
Right, so he
Interesting.
lost the appeal,
Good
and that would have
catch.
been a year and a half ago. So that means he wrote this article in 2024. He may
That
have
makes
published
me
it later.
less optimistic.
What?
But I think overall, you bring any attention to Bitcoin and Satoshi, and as long as BTC aren't the heroes of the movie, I still think it's good. It's good. It gets more eyeballs on the chain.
Oh, for
But I
sure.
really think that like the marketing side, like with the tech side kind of like in place, now you need to turn to the marketing side. Like,
we need a funnel, dude. We need to get a funnel. Like,
yeah,
so I told Babbage and these guys, I was like, look, I'm all about the developers. I'm all about the meta, but that's 1%
yep,
of the people that have the brain. I want to learn it bad. Trust me, I do, but it's like hard for me. It's hard. It's hard. Okay. I'm not there. my brain doesn't work that way, and I'm not giving up, but it's just hard. Okay. When it comes to
yeah.
the my thing is marketing, video, commentary. I could talk, I could do law, I could do all this other stuff. So, and most people are going to be more on that. They're going to be mainstream. So we need to market them, and they need a simple funnel
I'm pro flippening. I'm pro
to
flippening.
create the flippening.
I think it's people love it, and as
Good.
people funnel in, they're gonna love it.
I'm so
And
glad to hear, because that is
I
the
wouldn't.
marketing. That is the angle. We're going to
And
pay for
everyone
this.
is I think honestly, people try to shoot down people who don't think in a certain way, right? They like to shoot down ideas that don't directly appeal to them, and then people who think in the opposite way, they're like, that, you know what, like, that kind of made me smile, and I'm not gonna write it off because it like caught my interest. I'm gonna
What?
look at it.
What did?
Because it's a big claim.
Oh, the
And
flippening?
yeah,
It's a
but
big ass
I
claim.
think
It's a
that
giant claim.
that's why that's actually
It's so
why I'm
audacious.
pro flippening.
It's so upside down and crazy. It's crazy talk, but hey, it's
But
gonna
it's like
happen.
sometimes you get with the this is like me. I'm trying to learn everything I can about the tech, and dealing with the tech people. They really got me like off flipping. It's got to go to $5. And I'm like, what
Right.
is going on
So,
here?
so
Like,
there's a
I'm
major
just.
disconnect. I did a video on it yesterday. I was in I was in a
Mhm.
meeting yesterday with a bunch of these guys and a bunch of these devs, and really, I'm helping them with some stuff, and it's going to be great. I really believe in everything in the tech and the plumbing and all this. I absolutely believe in it. But my point is there is a giant, massive, enormous disconnect between the plumbing guys and then us on the front end. It's so big. It's almost like impossible to connect. So I'm just in there. I'm going to do my best to try to bridge the gap, because it's so the gap is so
Yeah.
huge that it's like, I got really smart people that come to me after this thing from yesterday who understand Bitcoin, and they're just like, I don't understand what's going on. I'm like, oh, yeah, I get it. They
Yeah.
can't.
That's
You know.
indicative of the meeting
I'm talking about the meeting from yesterday.
you
Yeah.
went to.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I'm saying in a good way, like it's amazing. Like I support that, but I'm saying the disconnect, right? The really smart plumbing people are so smart to then the normie is way over here. So we have to like those smart people, they're not going to connect with the normie, dude. It's not possible. The disconnect is so far. We have to connect with that normie. We have to reach out to him and bring
Yeah.
him in.
I fully agree with you, Gavin. I think Zach is someone who gets both sides, and I can't name anyone who's very, maybe Kurt, is very like on both. There's probably a bunch of people in this chat who can understand the need for marketing and the need for the technology, but I think Zach has some good ideas on that. Even though he doesn't think the movie will be released, which is realistic.
I've there's so much animosity towards BSV that I'm utterly convinced it will stand in the way.
Probably a safe bet, because that's happened every other time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, what about someone pulling together a marketing budget? So a lot of money was spent on the tech, like
How much
hundreds
do
of
we need for
millions of
marketing?
dollars. Not that much.
Like how
Like,
much?
so okay, so if Voyager said that 90 million, 100 million on a movie that could get blocked is chunk change, couple million, few
Yeah.
million.
And what are you going to do with that marketing budget?
Well,
Okay. So let's be productive on this one. Yo, Crypto Kate, I have $100 million that I want to blow into the wind.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give it to you.
Well, that's
what are you gonna do with it?
What do you do with
blowing
it?
it
I
into
know.
the wind would be a donation to a charity. That would be different. I mean, I think we're talking about more of like some sort of a deal where the person putting in the money or the system is actually profitable. It's not just pissing it away into the wind. It has to make sense.
So for example, on marketing, a few years ago, like a dozen years ago, shit, I'm old. The Dodge people from Dogecoin saw the movie Cool Runnings and said, "Yo, let us sponsor the Jamaican bobsled team."
Yeah,
Is that something
Doge
that you would say
markets up the
is a
Oh,
ass.
it's
good
a great
idea,
idea.
Kate?
Yeah, you're right.
I wouldn't sponsor the Jamaican bobsled team with the budget we're gonna be able to pull together. But
Okay. What would you do with the budget?
what would I do with the budget? I
I think
would.
I would
Okay.
go. I would go for influencer marketing. That would be where I think the angle
Yep.
is.
I think
So
influencer
I'm
marketing.
gonna go to Mr. Beast and tell him, hey yo, instead of Beastables, just talk about BSV. Is that what I
I
should
would
do?
say. I would say I want Bieber. I want Bieber, but we're not going to get him for 2 million. But that would be my
No,
go-to.
you
But
guys, if you haven't been, you got to do what everybody else has done, and BSV's never done. Like when BSV was when everyone was having fun in BSV, you guys were having your own parties, and Calvin was paying for them, and everyone had fun and got to know everyone in BSV. And unfortunately, with the way
Yo,
things went down,
Zach, were you at those parties? Because
I
I wasn't
wasn't at those.
invited.
I wasn't invited. I wasn't important enough. No, I don't think I would
No,
get an
I was
invite
asking
even
Zach because
today.
that's more OG stuff. Those parties. That's
Yeah,
already
no,
OG
already
baby,
half a decade
I've
and
ago.
I
heard
ta-
every
and
detail.
Thursday, by
I've
the
heard
way,
every
I
detail of those
met
parties.
I met and spent time, and I'm super close with an OG of OG on the inside of this whole operation. So everything is like, dude, I'm telling you, there's really good things happening. But let's keep the zero with Zach. I'm with Zach. Hey, don't get the hopium up because it always fails every time in the
Zach, what do
past.
you think? What would you do, Zach? What do you do with a marketing budget?
Or for a movie?
Oh, for
No,
marketing
to
for this, not the movie, just marketing in general, right? Or what is the marketing about? What are you marketing?
I don't know.
Would you
You
market
tell
a
me.
funnel? It has to be a funnel, Kate. Marketing the Great Bitcoin Flippening, marketing something, marketing a funnel or marketing a course, right? It has to be. What would the marketing be actually?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I can tell you from being inside marketing on a chain that sucks, and the founder turned it into two chains recently and rug pulled everyone, and that's Cardano. There's no one building on Cardano. There are no developers who want to code on Cardano in Haskell. Um, they spend all their money on marketing. And you know what their marketing strategy is? They go to crypto conferences, they shoot fun content, have parties, and make friends with people from other chains at the conferences
Yeah,
and at the parties, and they support each other,
I
and
mean,
you make friends.
so
And then
we
you know what? No one cares about what happened 2 years ago. Like
right.
when I go to crypto conferences, I'm like, have you heard about BSV? I'm like, they were like, no. I'm like, let me tell you this amazing story, and they're like all in on it. But
Yeah,
this
if
is
we
why I
have
brought up the parties.
that's a
You
great
guys
one because if you
isolated yourself with the parties,
now if
with
you
your
it,
own parties.
if you before you were here just shortly, I had this huge I had this massive crypto conference in London. It was huge, and we had this thing called the Bitcoin Palace, where all these people everyone around the conference went to, and we celebrated Craig's birthday at this palace. Okay, and it was so epic. It was so beyond epic. It was like the story goes like this. So we're like about 30 or 40 core people, like all hanging out all at the same time, the coolest people. And Craig is not there. Brendan Lee, one of his good friends and allies, and we're all planning. And Brendan Lee, he says, by the way, everybody, it's Craig's birthday. And we're like, oh my gosh, it's Craig's birthday. And I said, wait a second. Did Craig plan this event right here around all this? Like, did he chess move this out and we'd all be celebrating his birthday without him? Like, this is so weird. Like, it was just such a weird environment to like have, like, it's something that Craig would plan. And it was just, it's the most amazing event. The point is that like this could easily be done. That was just all self-funded on Bootstrap with a little bit of budget.
Yeah.
I would do an event like that with the best people and the freaking, all of us here and the best people be invited, and we would roll in and dominate, absolutely dominate the event. Anyone who was there will tell you we dominated the event, like beyond dominated. Beyond, it wasn't even close. I was at the event and everybody's coming up to me. They thought I was some sort of a celebrity at the event. I'm like, I'm just a guy here. I don't work here. I mean, you know, I don't know why. Just because we dominated the event and we brought so much attention and positive energy and all this. And that
And
was
there were
just
other
with
chains,
me.
Gavin.
Well, that was just with me and a couple of ragtag people with cameras. And that was it. No chain. Yeah, there was all chains. Yeah, this
Yeah,
wasn't
that's what I'm saying
all
is we
chains.
need, so if the tech is so outstanding and you know the trial happened 2 years ago and no one cares.
Yeah.
But what you know what people do care about? They care about meeting you in real life
Yep.
and
Exactly.
trusting you and seeing that you're having fun and you support, you know, ideology, blockchain ideology and the future of it. And they
Yes.
don't overthink it. Like
Right.
the Cardano marketing plan, have you like the Cardano community is enormous and that
Oh
chain
wow.
sucks. Like could tell you that much from a technical standpoint. And why are they always blockchain 10 or 11? There's nothing there. It's ridiculous. It's all marketing. So
All
the
marketing.
marketing strategy, so
All
the
marketing.
technology can be extraordinary, but the marketing strategy is just you go to there's like 5 big crypto conferences in the US and then there's like 3 others abroad every year you want to hit, and you bring as big of a group as you can and you go in. You don't need to buy a table. You probably
Yep.
should. It would be great because people would love, because
Well,
people don't have
we have
big
the biggest one of the years coming up in about 3 weeks. I'm going, and hopefully everyone else is going as well. And
are you
I'm going with
going?
a pretty good sized group. You know, I mean,
Oh,
so
which one are you going to?
well, the biggest one of the years is in Vegas in three
Oh, the
weeks.
Vegas.
Yeah,
A lot of us are
that's
going.
the Bitcoin whatever. I don't know what it's called, but
Yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
that's a
I'm
huge one.
happy.
Yeah, so
I got in there. You get into these things if you like ever made a piece of content, just apply to be a content creator and you could go for free and get VIP access. But I'm going to Consensus Miami to do the same thing. And
nice.
I got people to buy BSV. What at ETH Denver sucked this year. It was
Oh, really?
terrible. But we had just a few BSV people going from Colorado, and like Mike and Ty from Babbage came. I got I have a friend who's an influencer, a Ben Crypto show, and he just does like a meme coin trading show. But he's a pretty popular influencer, and he introduced me to bigger influencers. And I said, "Hey, meet these guys, and they have amazing things to say." And we got some good interviews out of that, and we made friendships, and we could have done media partnerships. And it's just the way we're isolating ourselves in BSV is not good. It's
Oh, for
not good,
sure.
and people go, "Well, I can't go to the conference because I don't have any money." Well, you know what? Then you need to establish some kind of board where people can be flown to the damn conference and we can go in as like a media company. So you go in, get in for free, and because we're making content supporting the conference.
That's something I
And
could get behind. See, this is good that you're bringing this up because on the call that I had them the other day, I'm supporting both of these. One was the plumbing guys, and that's a super important thing. But then the other thing is this media side. We need the media angle for all this as well. This is another arm, okay? I'm supporting that.
yeah,
We're doing that too. We're going to do that.
People in this community get upset about the idea of going to a consensus or ETH Denver, or honestly, I don't know. I was gonna go to Singapore 2049, and at the last minute the Cardano Foundation canceled the contract, so I didn't wind up going. But that's like the level they're going to, is they're like all going to Singapore to like keep their chain in the top 10, and that's all it is.
Right.
And I mean, and then they're doing deals with each other. They're doing media deals with each other. They're doing business deals with each other. They're connecting with people in real life and pulling that business into the blockchain and into the
So basically, we
community.
just need to. So I need to start I need to start a company. I'm starting a bunch of companies right now. I'm starting like multiple different ventures. I'm doing at the same time. Build them all. I taught myself on how to build companies all from scratch, how to build business credit, how to build all this stuff. I'm the freaking master at all these building these things and master in law, PM, all these things, right? So I'm building these, and this is maybe another angle, like something I could start right now. I start like that on a media company, and then we
Yep,
run it with
yep.
that, and I build the credit side, and then we freaking go to these places like this, and then I get people to invest through shares all on chain. Like, hey, if you want to invest, you're going to get tokens, and I
Yeah.
do it legal with a law firm, and I say it's make it as legal as possible. And the lawyer said, oh, it's probably going to be okay. Don't worry about it right now. Trump's not going to prosecute anybody, so just go ahead and do it anyways. That's what he told me when I got advice.
That's a
So.
great idea, Gavin. I would get in on that. You guys, like the difference between when we're on crypto Twitter is everyone's like screaming at each other and they're insulting every chain but BSV. And in real life, that's not how it is. People are nice. People are
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
We had a BTC podcaster, a very famous BTC
I just
podcaster.
want to say I got banned from a real life Bitcoin meetup because I talked about BSV. So, Kate, maybe you haven't really understood where we
Oh.
are. There is a reason why Zach says what he's saying.
Hold on. Let her
No,
finish.
Crypto
Let her finish
Voyager,
your point, though.
I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking
You
about.
you you were making a point, Kate. Let me finish. Have you finished your point? Continue.
No, I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about. I've been involved promoting BSV this year at conferences, and everybody loves it
Yeah.
because you just go with a nice, happy group. And you're like, have you heard of this? And they're like, I think I've heard about it, but I don't really know about it because we're in like a new age of crypto. A lot of people like just got into this in like the last 2 years, 3 years. They don't know
Oh, it's
the history
suppressed.
of Bitcoin.
Yeah, you're right.
And
No, they
I
don't know it.
mean, and they actually like to hear about this stuff.
Right.
And they want interviews. They're like, wait, this would be the history of Bitcoin. That would be great for my YouTube page. That's how I showed how I wound up here. Was I met Kurt at a conference in Miami, and I heard he was a Bitcoin historian. I said that would be a great I can imagine the thumbnail obviously for that story to put on my YouTube page, and that's like got like thousands of hits. And this is what people are content creators, who are a lot of the people at these conferences, want. They want someone like a Bitcoin historian. They want someone who will talk about the Bitcoin forks and Satoshi and like all these like buzzwords that they can put in the title of a YouTube video that'll get people talking. And BSC is actually perfect for that because we have a great story. We're a nice group of people, and we now have this amazing tech in place. People actually want to see us win when they see we're nice people. We
Exactly.
have a great idea, and we'll guess what?
And we're
We
good
could even
looking, by the
talk about
way.
to your chain that you support or the chains you like. We'll even talk to them if you want to get some of our tech people on
Yeah.
the phone and yours. We could talk about it.
And
Like
we're
that's
good
not
looking,
something.
and we have pretty girls like Kate, Crypto Kate here. So how you like me
And
now?
we have Casey. I mean,
And we have pretty
who
girls like
everyone's
Casey
always like,
Nicole, who's
Casey is gorgeous.
she's beautiful.
Casey
Well,
is
she's a
gorgeous.
Casey's a natural beauty.
Gotta
She's
get
just all natural.
Casey out of the conferences. I mean, we might even get Ray. You know what? And here's the other thing: is a lot of people pay women like women to go to the crypto conferences, but what chains like Doge do is they incentivize like the doginal dogs, like in Miami, like all these like girls who like work out all day, and like they were super nice and like looked great, and like they're so Miami, like they're like all part of the doginal dogs group. And like you don't even need that though. They were all super nice. They invited me um to some party they had, like 50 Cent was there. I didn't go. There are people who support Cardano's everywhere, and they're super cool because they're in it for the marketing, and they're like, let me get a story that's going to hit for my page, not just promote whatever chain has given me some support or some funding, but let me get something really good. And we actually have that stuff. And people don't scream at you. Maybe, I'm sorry, Voyager, you got kicked out of the BTC uh, event, like meetup. That's messed up.
It's the only Bitcoin meetup here in Mexico at the
Yeah,
moment.
that might be part of it. But these ones in the U.S., they were fun parties. and they're where you make deals, and they're where you meet influencers with, who have I made friends with Crypto Empress X. She's over 100. She's 105K followers here on Twitter, and she gave us shout outs, and she Finance Freeman was one of her friends, and now we're good friends, and we just met, just stacking up the influencers. I've only been to like 3 conferences in my life, and a lot of them bought BSV.
Well, the tides are definitely shifting because I have been kicked off so many Clubhouse stages and Twitter Spaces and personal,
That
like
yeah,
any
yeah.
of the St. Louis
It's the
Bitcoin
nastiness
meetups.
of the internet, though, you guys. I'm at this point. I don't know about when the legal stuff is going on, but at this point, people are like, "What are you talking about?" Maybe I've heard of the Craig Wright thing, but I don't care. You're a
Right.
person in front of me, and if you're nice, I'm going to listen to you and hear what you have to say.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. I think the major pressure that was
Twitter's
going
different.
on in the
It's
past
terrible.
with Maxwell and the operation is pretty much gone. They gave up on that. Remember when they won the case, they pretty much said we won, and they all celebrated. And then Craig almost went to jail. That's pretty much been the last of it for them. They're coming up with that fake book called Fake Toshi. That's their last little hooray
That's,
party. But other than that, they're pretty much
no one's going to read it.
no one's gonna read that.
No one's going to read that, but you know what they're
No.
going to like? They're going to like that a group of people, a nice group of people showed up and promoted their chain, but also were looking to help other people, promote their businesses and learning about their businesses and the technology and just talking about the original ideals for blockchain. That's what people like, and they don't care. Like, I support BSV. You think people unfollowed me? I got so many more followers. I get so many more followers after going to conferences,
For sure.
and I tell them about BSV, and they want it, and they're like, "But what about this about B?" If they do know the history, they'll ask questions, and I have all the answers for them, and they enjoy that, and they're like, "Let's do a podcast." I mean, I had so many people like invite me on podcasts, and I was like, honestly, I'm not technically good enough to go on the podcast. I don't know if I'll go on the podcast. We just didn't have a big enough group to do like a media push. And there were I was with technical people,
Right. You
right?
got to be with the mark. You got to be with, I have to be there. I'll be honest. Because
Yeah.
once I'm there, the whole thing freaking blows up. I'm telling you, you weren't there in London. Anybody who was there will tell you how freaking dominant it was and how massive it was. We were just nonstop the whole time. Media. I was just insane. I'm telling you. Now, I got to talk about this article, cointelegraph.com. Casey, you posted this from Calvin 2022. It said, and Calvin was already, now he hasn't really talked a lot. No, 2020. I'm sorry. It says, come on, you guys, you got to do better than this. This is the official. He's talking about how this is the post. Other than the book was canned from a festival. Ira pulling about the case, blah blah blah, and he's talking kind of trash like he always did. But then here's the article that he posted. He says, "Coming soon, Craig Wright, the movie and book, 2020." This is from April 12th, 2020. Calvin Air, the most prolific supporter of Craig Wright, and is funding a new documentary and book about Satoshi. So that's something different, okay, then Killing Satoshi. That's different. But that's another thing. Yes, that's public there. What you're seeing right there, Casey. It's not the Killing Satoshi because Killing Satoshi didn't hit Calvin's desk until 2022. So this is the documentary. We know about that. And I'm not
There's a
sure what the
lot
book
of
is.
interesting stuff. I honestly think every time I go to a conference, I have the most interesting things to say. Other people are like, they don't
Sure.
understand that the people who go to conferences, a lot of them don't understand the tech. I don't
No.
know. I don't think it used to be that way. I think it used to be more of a technical business conference kind of
Well,
thing.
who's
And
using
these days,
the darn tech? Who's using it for
well,
that's the question you asked. Is anybody using this stuff? I mean, is anybody
I mean,
making any money off of,
honestly, it's like sometimes a question of like, blockchain's going out of business. But I think if you're gonna do it, like do it
Well,
right, and
here's the
everyone here
thing.
agrees,
Blockchain is
right?
going out of business just the same time as AI does. Because, if AI is
Yeah.
going out of business, then blockchain is going out of business. But because AI is not going out of business, then there is a desperate alarm moment, desperate need for blockchain. That's the
Yeah,
convergence
and
that's
we have
happening.
a great case for agent to agent payments, which is something that we should be getting out there talking about to investors. They want what we have. agent to agent payment wise in
Oh
our
yeah.
capabilities.
Are you talking about this open cloud stuff with agent to agent?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but the
we
way we
gotta
can do
figure
it
that
on
out.
BSV.
We gotta
Yeah, I
figure it
mean,
out.
I spoke with when I was in San Francisco. I spoke with a guy from Silicon Valley Bank, and
Well, they
set
they
up.
probably told you that blockchain just doesn't work, right? And that's probably his mentality.
No,
No.
this guy was the executive director of software,
Oh,
and Ty and Mike from Babbage spoke with him, and he was really nice, really interested. They told him about agent to agent payments and some other stuff. And I set up a meeting with them, and I'm not sure what happened in that meeting, but I set up a lot of investor meetings, and that's what got me starting to think, I don't like, why can't we do what everyone else does? Go to conferences and set up meetings. Like everyone else is doing it. We can do it. The trial was 2 years ago. Everybody's over it. We're back in the
well,
top
we
100.
we can do the
You
meetings,
know,
but we need it. So what we have to do is that first of all, here's the problem, and then here's the solution. I'm going to tell you the problem first. You got a lot of smart people with a lot of great ideas who don't run a business. They're young people, maybe 22, 23 years old.
right?
They can't deal with they can't even with investor. It doesn't matter. They won't. It can't work. So we have to have that kind of that arm that says, here's the place. And we had this great idea that Bose had done a long time ago, and he had a great thing, but then it got taken over by this company, by this agency. I don't remember what it was called, but they were trying to do that at one point, but it got hijacked. So we need something like that. It's an incubator style. It's investor style. We could totally have it out here in Silicon Valley, San Francisco all day long. And, it's another thing I could set up, and I can't run all this stuff, but I can help set them up and make this all happen. And literally, I have the right guys. I have the right people. We have the right people involved. Okay. We just need
I'm
to
just not
take
sure why
action.
it's not coming. Yeah, I'm a little frustrated, Gavin, on any marketing not coming together. And maybe it hasn't been the right time yet. But after the Chronicle upgrade, I don't see what would be holding us back from doing that.
We
Well,
don't have any like coherence and coordination.
yeah.
All these
So
other
here's the
spaces,
other.
they work together to
What we
like
could
do
do
full
is
campaigns.
is
And
we
everybody blasts out
Yep.
at the
we
same time to hit
could
the algorithms and everything.
we could do another membership, like another association, because we're going to have there's going to be like one. They got the Bitcoin Association there in Switzerland. There's going to be one like a foundation technical arm out here, and then we need something else like this, where we're having a group of this, where we do the marketing angle, we mastermind all this, and we put all this together. That has to be a stewardship
Mansplaining.
protocol.
Let Casey talk.
Casey, you're up.
Well, thank you, Zach. I just think we need more coordination and coherence in a marketing conversation where we're all hitting the algorithms and stuff at the same time, like the copy pasta and things that actually we know work to get broader messages out there and spread. So we just need to all sit down and figure that out together and put together some actual campaigns and put some money behind them. We've never come together like that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so I think a big argument for like why does no one want to even try marketing and PR and restoring legitimacy? I'm saying that like quote unquote because people would say we need that. We don't think we do, but in the public eye, maybe we do. It's like with all the tech upgrades in place, everything's in place, and anyone can run a business on BSV, and it's all legally compliant. Now we're ready to make those relationships re-enter the space